Man, the look on the faces of the people that didn't trust the plan. It feels so good to plan an entire massive deep dive video, leftists crashing out the movie over here, and then realizing I'm basically vindicated on all the things. The Donald absolutely flexes on Iran to the point that the Iranian delegation that's supposedly supposed to be making some sort of deal with Vance literally had to run away in middle. Keir Starmer, Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, officially resigned with Trump announcing it before he announced it himself. Pure humiliation. Every single Latin American election is winning. The far-right candidates are all winning, and the communists are all losing. What a coincidence. Just when we stopped giving them USAID money. Interesting. Hassan Piker is having his meltdowns. Just a bad day for Muslims in general. Japan has unbelievable levels of immigration fatigue. Honestly, lock in, boys and girls. Crazy deep dive on all the things. Definitely subscribe. A lot of people are saying that these Trump images that he's been posting while absolutely manhandling multiple regimes around the world, it's Nazi-esque. It looks like Nazi imagery. And it's like, the truth of the matter is, are we going to deny that the Nazis had aura? Like, we're not going to deny this for even a moment. We live in reality here on the channel. All right, so the Donald decided to drop a bomb. The headline in the corrupted, failing New York Times: what changed after almost 4 months of war? Analysts say not much. Really? The military is done. Navy is gone. Air Force is gone. Launching pads, missiles, drones, manufacturing of same is almost gone. Top 2 seats of leaders gone. Inflation 250% for them. Their inflation is 250%. Their economy's broken. Their soldiers aren't being paid. Hormuz Strait is open. Oil is gushing. U.S. stock market and jobs are at record highs. That's what changed. You corrupt, unethical cowards, and more. Also, by total coincidence, we have a Muslim mayor in New York, and he absolutely hates our country and loves terrorism. It's probably a coincidence. It's probably a huge coincidence, but it is really fascinating to see the gigantic op being played on anyone. Oh, Donald Trump can't continue this war. Iran is strategically victorious in this war. And it's like, you actually just look at the facts on the ground, and it's utterly humiliating. Meanwhile, the United States is the #1 top oil exporter on the planet. We have eviscerated our actual threat. As an America First political leaning in regards to my own view on the world, all right, I personally am very happy that terrorists that have been killing us for 47 years are dead. I think that them being dead is awesome, actually, because killing terrorists rocks. Now, again, Donald Trump and I have slightly different analyses here, it seems. I'm more of the line that we can't actually make deals with these monkeys, and we need to fucking obliterate them. The Donald is a humanitarian, therefore he wants to try. But for those of you paying attention to my analysis, you'll notice how right I am. The way the corrupt and failing New York Times is covering stories in a very battered and beat up Iran through fake and made up facts is, in my opinion, treasonous. I will be adding all of it to the false and ridiculous reporting to my multi-billion-dollar lawsuit against them. They are criminals, President DJT. That's my guy. Never backed out, ever surrendered, Donald. Endless aura. That's right, you sue those fucking newspapers. But freedom of speech! Yeah, he has the freedom to sue you. It's a free country. And the truth is, one of the major reasons why Trump seems like he's being pressured into making some sort of deal with Iran, in my opinion, it's coming from two sides. On the one end, you have the Vance camp of the United States government that's more aligned with, like, the Tucker Carlsons, who seems like Tucker Carlson's a foreign operative. You know, it really does, honestly. He has a house in Qatar funded by Iranian billionaires. Like, we all know that. That's all objectively true. And all of a sudden, you have that whole, like, they call themselves anti-war, but anti-war is a really nice way to say I'm gay and retarded, because everyone's anti-war. The reality is, unfortunately, sometimes wars need to happen. So anyone that calls themselves anti-war as, like, some kind of virtue signal, it's like, happy Pride Month, you flagrant homosexual. So that's one area where Trump is getting a lot of pressure to make a deal. And the other area is the overall left, the global left. Europe wants America to take an L here because Trump has been humiliating them by the fact that we're funding their militaries and we're not very happy about it. So Europe wants us to take an L and end the war because they want to get energy from the Strait of Hormuz, even though that isn't really necessarily our biggest concern. And it's also the domestic left. All right, the leftist environment that's literally publishing article after article about how we lost a war against Iran, a country which, by the way, we absolutely decimated. All right, just understand what is going on here. So those are the areas that are pressuring Trump to make a deal. So if you've been watching my coverage, you'll see The Donald is giving them 60 days. If you can make a deal, that's what the memorandum of understanding is. All right, we went from epic fury to memorandum of understanding. All right, so memorandum of understanding is a 60-day period where we'll see what happens, and if not, we kill them. And we'll see what happens. We'll see. So anyway, this is where the current meeting ground was. Vance was in Switzerland. He met up with all the fucking terrorist countries to try to make peace with them, because that's Vance's plan, it seems. As you can see, they placed our great national flag against 3 poop flags. All right, as you can see, this is the Qatari flag where they fund the terrorists, the Pakistan flag where they support the terrorists, and the Iran flag where they are the terrorists. So it's a pretty great fucking meetup. I'm really glad to see our flag next to the poop alliance, the alliance of poop. It's pretty great. Now, Vance said some questionable things during this meeting. Again, he is pure peace mode, all right? He wants to end this war diplomatically. I think it's naive, personally, because they're terrorists and they need to die. That's the best thing to do to terrorists, in my opinion. A lot of people think I'm mean for saying that terrorists should die, but they could have avoided this by not being terrorists. They didn't avoid it, now they have to die. I'm a simple man. So Vance had some interesting things to say.
Hear you about the Pakistani role, especially?
Very good. We love Pakistan. Thank you.
We do? We don't love Pakistan, actually. Mr. Vice President Vance, we do not like Pakistan, all right? Especially the part where they sheltered Osama bin Laden and terrorists for over a decade, prolonging the war on terror, and then sent a million rapists to rape 250,000 British girls in England. No, actually, we don't like Pakistan. I know that you're not allowed to dislike certain cultures, but 65% of Pakistanis are inbred. They have an average IQ in the 70s. I don't like, as someone that does not like Pakistan, or the fact that there's a Muslim nation that's completely apartheid, for those of you that care about buzzwords, an apartheid Muslim nation that has nuclear weapons, that funds and supports terrorism, and that quite literally is committing unbelievable acts of terrorism against India. Listen, man. So this must be really awkward for Mr. Vance, whose wife is Indian. Now, Vance had this to say.
His Field Marshal in Pakistan, Asim Munir. I will say that since Field Marshal Munir welcomed us with the Prime Minister in Islamabad, I have joked that I have 2 very, very important people in my life, an Indian and a Pakistani. The Indian is my wife, and the Pakistani is Field Marshal Munir. And I've probably talked to Field Marshal Munir more than I've talked to anybody else over the last 3 months. Would not be here without his statesmanship. He is, of course, a great military leader, but I think he's shown himself to be a great diplomat. And, of course,
yeah, actually, I think that Field Marshal Munir fucking sucks. He's a horrible guy. This is why I'm not running for president, by the way, because I'm honest, and I can't do the fucking brown nosing thing. I can't do it. Yeah, actually, fuck Field Marshal Munir, that fucking retard. Funding, he was the one that was sending enriched uranium to Iran, allegedly, as well as the reason why North Korea has nuclear weapons. Actually, fuck these people. I'm sorry, what do you want me to say? These guys suck. All right, yes. So, of course they want a peace deal. No shit. Field Marshal Munir wants a peace deal between the United States and the Islamic Republic of Iran, terrorists. So yes, 2 very important people to J.D. Vance, his wife, an Indian, and Field Marshal Munir, who he speaks to even more than his wife. Listen, man, all I'm saying is all the white supremacists that were like anti-Vance just because he was married to an Indian, I don't know, man. I might become the first Jewish white supremacist one of these days. Anyway, Russian state media was publishing posts like Vance humiliated at blank and hand blanked at Qatar, right? Refusing to greet him. Right? Looks a little weird. Look at that. Look at that. Just avoids him. And he's gone. And he doesn't shake his hand.
Sorry, guys.
Piece of shit. Yeah, anyway, fuck these people. I don't know, man. You're humiliating the United States of America because you think that you could get an edge because we're peace. Again, you have to understand the way this mind operates. These are fucking terrorists. They are part of a death cult, and they're terrorists, and they want us to die, and they hate us. They sniffed weakness when we wanted peace because we didn't want to drop a nuke on their country, by the way. Let's understand what this means. By the fact that we're making peace instead of dropping a nuke on their country, which would absolutely solve all of the problems. All right, I'm not advocating for it, by the way. I'm just saying it would solve all of our issues. And they are taking that as weakness, as that they could slight us, humiliate us, and embarrass us until they could somehow, out of the ashes, with the help of Allah, become strong enough to fucking kill us. That's the plan. These fucking snakes. And they sense weakness, and they don't want it. And honestly, they're just going to keep humiliating us. So the Pakistani Prime Minister, Shahbaz, had this to say. Very nice words about Donald Trump.
Point in time, with the fullest sincerity at my domain, thank President Donald Trump for his visionary and very dynamic leadership which has resulted in this meeting here today in beautiful city of Bergenstock. And I think here we are going to have wonderful discussions which will lead to hopefully very productive results in times to come.
Yeah, it won't. So anyway, you have to understand the game Trump is playing. Trump is like, you know what, Vance? You got 60 days. Figure this shit out. If you can't, we kill them. And I really respect it. I do. What can I say? Watch the crash outs. Anyway, so this is Pakistan, by the way. We love Pakistan. Yeah, all right, dude. Lighting Trump's face and American flags on fire all over the place. Yeah, they don't love you. Now, one of the interesting twists is this is a spokesperson guy from the United Arab Emirates that has been crashing out constantly over on the timeline, constantly crashing out over this deal. Because he's saying you can't make deal with Iran. Iran, they're fucking terrorists. Like, I know what they're like. I know what Islamic terrorism is like, says this spokesperson from the United Arab Emirates. The whole Middle East watched J.D. Vance act like a lion with Israel and a Persian cat with the mullahs in Tehran. Strange, how some people save their toughest words for their friends and soft voice for their enemies. You make a deal with the devil, yet you preach heaven. And bro did not stop. This was humiliation. He is still crashing out over the deal. He's so unhappy with it. No one in modern history made America wait and beg for negotiations. This was the moment J.D. Vance should have returned to Washington. The Islamic regime did this on purpose. Trump, if you don't understand politics, at least understand protocol. The visuals from Switzerland. The U.S. delegation entered well before the Iranians. In diplomacy, decided with the leverage doesn't wait in the room. You claim to be leading and winning, yet you arrive first. Big mistake. Ghalibaf, that's the Iranian retard, did not enter while the press was inside, and Vance did. Another mistake. It looked as though you didn't abandon your allies. You also, including Israel, you also diminished America's image by ignoring basic diplomatic protocol. And third, the Iranian foreign minister entered last, refused to shake hands. We didn't need photograph to tell us who looks confident. Anyway, so they're just crashing out. Right, so as you can see, they go over here. Here's the Qataris. The Qataris sit here. Vance comes in at some point. Right, so this guy, he goes to shake the... No, notice how the Iranian fuckers and then the Qatari shitters are all super friendly with the Pakistanis. Weird, interesting how that happens. Very interesting. And for some reason, no one pays any attention to Vance, who's just kind of sitting there in the back. Really awkwardly, to be honest. Not gonna lie. So again, it is really weird. So the United Arab Emirates, who understands how these Muslim fucking mind games are played, where it's all about, ritual honor and shit like that, they're really crashing out about it. For your information, in the first 80 minutes of negotiations, which have now concluded their first round, J.D. Vance did not raise the Islamic regime in Iran's nuclear program once. Zero mentions of the nuclear issue. Instead, Iran just kept demanding things. That the United States stop Israel from responding to Hezbollah terrorists, stop statehood, support statehood for the Yemen-based Houthi terrorists, and accept Iran's control over the Strait of Hormuz, which it is already beginning to exert. This is not a nuclear deal. It's one of the most shameful and disastrous negotiations available. Again, this is not me. This is coming from the United Arab Emirates. People that actually understand what these people are. Now, a lot of people are saying on the one hand, we should not attack Vance and stuff. On the other hand, we should be pushing Trump to do different things, whatever it is. The reality, in my opinion, is simple. Let him cook. Let him cook. Let Vance go through an absolutely humiliating negotiation, all right? And I don't say this because I want to humiliate Vance. I say this because I think the big brain play is let them think that they could walk all over us, and then when they try to do so, we obliterate them. This could be the greatest good cop, bad cop situation we have ever witnessed in politics. Vance goes in there, the good cop. He just lets himself get absolutely fucking steamrolled by all these retards. And then the Donald comes in like a lion and decides, you know what, bad cop time. And we could be seeing it happen. Now, again, they became super, super egotistical. They think they're dominating the negotiations here. Abdullah Hajzada Saadehi, the supreme leader's representative to the IRGC, says Iran will never befriend the United States or abandon its goal of eliminating Israel. He said negotiations are meant to secure Iran's demands, not reconciliation. Added that our primary option is the battlefield, not negotiations. All right, so they... Once again, while Vance looks like they are trying their absolute best, all right? They are trying their best to basically try not to die. We have eviscerated their entire militaries. Now they see that we want peace because we don't want to, literally take the nuclear option. And they're going to do their best to be like, oh, we are on top of the world, just like we are on top of little children that we marry. All right, the Iranian president says Tehran will not relinquish its right to enrich uranium. That's a red line. And Pezeshkian, this is the Iranian president. What is certain is that we will never give up our right to enrich uranium. The other side will have no choice but to accept it. Oh, really? Oh, really? We'll just have to accept it. Again, they feel like they can walk all over us now because we are being peaceful. Again, we're dealing with fucking savages. The savages think that because we're benevolent enough to not fucking detonate a nuke on their fucking face, they think that somehow they have some sort of upper hand in negotiations. Al-Mayadeen reports Tehran is demanding a Trump apology for his threats and an Israeli withdrawal from southern Lebanon as conditions to return. It's like, bro, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Withdrawal from Lebanon as Hezbollah terrorists keep attacking Israel. Donald Trump is actually starting to push back a little bit. Iran must immediately stop their highly paid proxies in Lebanon from causing trouble. If they don't, we'll hit Iran very hard again. Just like we did last week, only harder. The Donald is actually firing shots from overseas. Now, of course, Hassan Piker gets involved over here before we get back to the negotiations to support Hezbollah terrorists.
Israel is the actual terrorist. Hezbollah would not exist if Israel had not invaded and occupied Lebanon.
Yeah, Hezbollah would not exist if there weren't Jews to kill. I love how he's like, if Israel wouldn't have occupied Lebanon, then Hezbollah wouldn't exist. Why do you think Israel occupied areas in Lebanon right now? It's because Hezbollah's been firing missiles at them for 40 fucking years, sponsored by Iranian terrorists. Again, he makes believe, I don't know if he's just retarded or if he like knows that his audience is retarded. So he just says like fake shit and he just lies. Actually, if you could tell Hassan is lying because his mouth is moving, you know, aside from slandering people, he'll call people rapists and pedophiles and whatever just to slander them. All right, and stuff like that. His new thing is calling anyone that exposes the Muslim grooming gangs in England, he calls them Epstein defenders because all the energy that you could be using to stop the industrial rape of 250,000 British girls, you could instead be using to talk about Donald Trump and Epstein having vague connections in emails. All right, like, understand the retard we're dealing with. So his new thing is Hezbollah wouldn't exist if Israel wouldn't be attacking in Lebanon. Well, why do you think Israel's in Lebanon?
And right now, it is the only force in Lebanon that is actually fighting back against the alien invasion.
Fighting back? Fighting back? They started this whole fucking thing! You think Israel wants to be in Lebanon? Israel doesn't want to be in Lebanon. They're fucking bombing Israeli civilians every day. Are you serious? They blew up a couple of Israeli soccer players a couple months ago. Like, they're fucking terrorists. They dug hundreds of miles of tunnels. All right, tunnels, terror tunnels on the Israeli border for infiltration purposes. What are we even being serious? The answer is no. Hassan just actually loves terrorism. That's the answer.
Invaders.
Spoilers.
The foreign invaders that are
Spoilers, he just loves terrorism.
illegally blowing up villages and openly talking.
Actually, it is legal under international law. Not that I think international law matters, but it actually is perfectly legal for Israel to blow up terrorists that have been trying to kill them.
About how they're fucking blowing up villages. I don't give a shit. I don't care about your fucking feelings. I don't care about your demands for censorship, your demands for deplatforming. I care about the truth. And the truth is Hezbollah in Lebanon
Terrorist organization, designated terrorist organization. And he wonders why the UK bans him, right?
right now is not only fighting a just war.
They've been bombing civilians for 40 years, including massacring Christians in Lebanon and also massacring Muslims in Syria. For 40 years.
Defensive war and
It's a defensive war because you shoot missiles into enemy territory, they come to dismantle your missile stock, and then it's a defensive war. Isn't it cool how that happens?
existential war. They're fighting a moral one. And guess what? Sucks to suck for
Islamic terrorism is moral.
you. It's perfectly fucking legal for them to do so. You know what's not legal?
What?
Israel's actions in
Oh,
Lebanon.
did they do something illegal? Says Hassan Piker, the supporter of every single terrorist organization on the fucking planet. Did they do something illegal?
Israel's actions in Lebanon are war crimes.
Everything's a war crime. Yes, killing terrorists is a war crime according to Hassan because he loves terrorists.
And it's not like they're hiding that they're engaging in these war crimes. So sorry, sucks to suck. Facts. Don't care about your fucking feelings, Fox News.
Yeah. Meanwhile, thousands of Hezbollah terrorists have been killed over the last couple of days. W Israel. They should keep doing that, actually. Fuck Hezbollah. And I have to say, I absolutely adore that people are starting to pick up that Hassan Piker actually just supports Islamic terrorism. Not because of some moral conflict. It's just because he loves when Muslims blow up Jews and Christians. It's his favorite thing. When he sees a Muslim raping a Christian, he's like, fuck yeah. Now we talk about Epstein. That's what I'm saying.
Supports terrorists, right? He's a terrorist enabler. He's a terrorist supporter. So everything that he does is going to be in service of terrorism. It's going to be in service of Islamic Muslim terrorism.
That's right.
This is the core and the center of his ideology.
It's his favorite thing.
All other values, viewpoints, and opinions come out of that ideology, and they all work to serve that ideology.
Absolutely.
That is the only thing that he will never compromise.
That's right. It's the only thing he cares about. He loves when Muslims kill Jews and Christians. It's his favorite thing. Now, Trump decided, back to the negotiations. All right, that was just a little curveball. Hassan supporting Hezbollah for the billionth time. All right, so Trump, by the way, Hassan needs to go to jail. Providing material support to terrorist organizations is actually a crime, and this motherfucker should be in jail. But anyway, Trump to Iranian officials overnight on closing the Strait of Hormuz. So they announced they were going to close the Strait of Hormuz, and Trump said, you close it, you won't have a country. You won't even make it back to your fucking country. All right, so basically, I will blow you up in the middle of your negotiations. That's pretty scary. So, of course, the Iranian negotiating team walked out of talks and protest. Yeah, and protest. They ran the fuck away. All right, Trump made a tweet, and the entire Islamic Islamic Republic, fucking retards in there in Switzerland, they all picked their bags up. They pulled up their diapers and started fucking running. All right, oh my God.
Yeah, hey guys, good morning. I just spoke with President Trump for more than 20 minutes, and he gave some new insight and reaction about the ongoing talks that are taking place in Switzerland and the threats coming from the Iranian regime. President Trump telling Fox News that the U.S. may take over the strait in the future if they have to.
That's right.
Tolls. The president
we might have
described
to.
this
Oopsie, we might have to do that.
as the United States being the guardian angel of the Strait of Hormuz.
Strait of United States of America.
And the Middle East. And the
right.
president said ultimately that would involve the U.S. taking 20% of the oil.
We might just have to do that, actually. You're welcome, world. You're welcome, world. We might have to do that. It's for our protection costs. It's our fee. It's our fee for making sure that the oil moves smoothly. Oh my God, dude, Trump is back, boys. He's back. He's never left. He's always been back.
That passes through the strait. Remember, this comes in reaction to the Iranians saying they will close the Strait of Hormuz in response to Israeli strikes against Hezbollah in Lebanon. President Trump tells Fox News he spoke with Iranian officials overnight and said, you close it and you won't have a country. He went on to tell these officials,
that's my goat.
You won't even make
That's my fucking goat right over there. That's the Donald.
Back to your effing country. Now, earlier today, Iran's President Masoud Pezeshkian said this about Iranian enrichment of uranium. The president also reacting to that. Take a listen.
We will not give up our right to enrichment, and they, too, will be forced to accept it.
Oh, really?
You all know what the so-called President of the United States was saying. He had made a complete 100-degree turn. He was saying that Iran must surrender unconditionally. Iran has no right to do this, it has no right to do that.
President Trump, during our call, responded directly to those comments by Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian. President Trump told Fox News he better watch his mouth, he better shape up, or we'll take over the rest of the country.
That's my goat right there. That's my president. Yeah. Again, I don't want boots on the ground. I don't want a massive regime change war. I just want some very tactical, very large explosive ordinances dropped on their fucking faces. Because I think killing terrorists is awesome, actually.
And so clearly the president reacting directly to these comments from Iran's president, Masoud Pezeshkian.
Oh, you can't tell us what we have a right to and what we don't have a right to. Oh, yes, actually, we can. Actually, we can do that exactly. You know why? Because our balls and our bombs are a lot bigger than yours.
And also, President Trump talked about the broader memorandum of understanding, indicating this is just a ceasefire extension. This is not the final deal with the Iranian regime.
That's what I've been saying for days. Everyone called me a fucking freak for being honest and real, and I was right. That's right. This is a 60-day period to see if the Vance side of the force, all right, can actually make some sort of peace deal with these fucking bloodthirsty terrorists. If they can't, we'll kill them.
As he holds the cards and maintains a variety of options if the Iranians don't make these serious commitments at the negotiating table. He said, I have a 60-day option, and I can do whatever I want after that option.
That's right.
Again, President Trump...
And he's the moral character here because he gave them 60 days. He eviscerated them. He showed that our military is strong and serious, and they still decided they wanted death. We'll give them death. We're a benevolent people.
Leaving a variety of considerations on the table and says that the United States could become the guardian angel of the Strait of Hormuz and collect tolls itself while taking oil.
Oh, no.
Around 20%, the president says.
Oh, well.
As it relates to oil, President Trump also said that 19 million barrels of crude oil exited the Persian Gulf yesterday as a result of this memorandum of understanding.
Right, so basically all the things are working. All right, we're getting our gas prices down, stock prices up, straight open, terrorists crying, and you know, they're going to try to puff out their chest, make it look like they're actually winning this negotiation, and they'll think they're winning for 60 days, and then they'll die. All right, Lindsey Graham apparently spoke to the president also and had this to say.
Let's try a diplomatic solution. I think it's going to fail. What happens next?
Me too.
I spent 4.5 hours with President Trump Friday. Here's what I think will happen next. If this deal fails, President Trump is going to take the Strait of Hormuz over by force. The United States will control the Strait of Hormuz. We'll charge a fee for all those who go through to pay for the operation. And we're going to expand the Abraham Accords in calendar year 2026. We're going to get Saudi Arabia to join the Abraham Accords, and which is the biggest change in 5,000 years in the Mideast. And if Iran contests control of the Strait of Hormuz by the United States, we will obliterate them.
That's right.
So to all the people listening, if this diplomatic effort fails, President Trump is going to take the Strait of Hormuz.
That's right.
We're going to run
It'll be the Strait of Trump.
We're going to try to get Saudi Arabia to join the Abraham Accords to end the Arab-Israeli conflict in 2026. And if Iran continues to attack Israel and Lebanon, the new policy will be we'll hit Iran. So to the Iranians, if you're listening, when you use Hezbollah to attack Israel, I think the new policy will be we will attack Iran.
Uh-oh, that sucks. I mean, again, because Iran was constantly trying to make it seem like their ceasefire with us is contingent on Israel's ceasefire with Hezbollah. And then Hezbollah, of course, they're terrorists, so they keep bombing Israel, so Israel fires back, so then Iran makes believe that, oh, wow, you violated stuff. So it seems like we're going to just reverse it on them. And we're basically going to say, oh, okay, so every time Israel attacks Hezbollah, all right, it's a break of our ceasefire with you? Fine. So every time Hezbollah attacks Israel, then it's your break of a ceasefire with us. All right, and again, it's just basically put the fear of God in these retards. Now, a lot of people have been commenting on this. I think it's pretty funny, so we're going to show it to you.
Vance sent a warning to the Jews. He said,
Jews!
Watch out. Trump's your daddy, too.
First of all, true. Second, what am I going to deny? He's just right. Second of all, the Jews. So everyone's been crashing out. What do you mean? I thought Vance sent a warning to Israel. Why the Jews? The Jews, man. You know, I personally saw a lot of Jews freaking out. Oh, it's anti-Semitism. You're connecting the Jews. It is the Jews. Like, what am I, like, come on, guys. Can we not be retarded pussies for a second? Yes, Vance sent a warning to the Jews. That's what happened. We all saw it. We were there. Could the Jews stop crashing out over all the things, please? Come on, Jews. Yes, Vance gave a warning to the Jews. That's what happened. Basically said, play along with Trump stuff because we give you billions of dollars. And you know what? He's right. Which is why I propose, stop giving billions of dollars to the Jews. And then let the Jews blow up whatever terrorists they want. And then we'll be like, oh, what do we, I can't control, I don't give them any money. I have no leverage over the Jew. I just think it's a much better strategy that way anyway. I also want to stop giving our money away in general, period. I'm way too Jewish to be giving money to the Jews. All right, anyway, U.S. Homeland Security Secretary on Fox News stated that Iran tried to smuggle IRGC members into the U.S. as part of the World Cup team. Thank God that was intercepted. But remember, they are still trying to do terrorism. They've just been so fucking militarily obliterated, and our intelligence is so much better than theirs that they can't do fucking anything. Right? While these peace talks are happening, they're still doing their best to win a war. You have to understand. Now, Joe Rogan had this to say about that Donald in regards to the UFC fight, and bro, the Donald has fucking aura. It's crazy.
I was honestly really nervous, Joe. I was like, dude, there's like, just again being around everybody, and something could happen. The drones that they stopped, like. Again, I wasn't knowing what to expect, and then until after the fight, because again, we couldn't take it in. It was a beautiful thing. And Justin,
I was like, "Fuck it! If I get taken out in the middle of the cage, how fucking legendary would that be?"
I said to Trump, "I go, I hope we don't die in a terrorist attack." Dude. I said to Trump, "I hope we don't die in a terrorist attack." He goes, "We gotta go somehow." I go,
everyone will remember it for the rest of eternity.
That is insane aura.
No, I'll pass.
Sign me up, bud.
I'll pass. Better the way it went.
Dude,
the way it went.
Hey, everyone's happy that didn't happen, but the aura of a man comfortable with his mortality. Holy shit. We are in the hands of God. If a slimy terrorist is going to kill us, we will politicize my death and save America. Now, I just wanted to remind y'all of my favorite ever J.D. Vance quote. Killing cartel members who poison our fellow citizens is the highest and best use of our military. Retard homosexual responds. Killing the citizens of another nation who are civilians without any due process is a war crime. J.D. Vance responds, I don't give a shit what you call it. Vance at his greatest. Yes, actually killing terrorists is awesome, and you could cry about it, libtards. You can. Hannah Kasparian, long live the resistance, fuck Israel. Again, these are anti-American filth, all of these people, and I just have to say, this is the resistance. How's the resistance coming? How's the resistance going, third world filth? Explain that one to me, retards. Holy shit. Holy shit. Unreal! I'm not even like the biggest Netanyahu fan or anything, but he fucking killed these guys, and that was awesome. Yes, killing terrorists is awesome, actually. And when will people wake up and realize that Israel is our Muslim terrorist destruction unit in the Middle East? When will you realize that actually Israel's our attack dog over there, and they are killing the threats that we don't want to deal with or get our hands dirty with? Also, aren't you literally an Armenian on a podcast called The Young Turks, which is named after a Turkish terrorist organization that genocided Armenians? Damn, holy fuck. Sometimes I wonder what's worse, Trump derangement syndrome or Israel derangement syndrome. God damn. I love how the modern left is like so devoid of any form of identity because they made fuck Trump their entire personality, that literally the only thing the left does now is support terrorism and hate America. Trump truly broke them. The future is ours. So yeah, closing thoughts. We'll see what happens. All right, we'll see what happens with these negotiations. We'll let Vance do his negotiations for 60 days, and the more Iran tries their best to humiliate him, the angrier Orange Daddy will get. And when 60 days passes, we might have to rename the Strait of Hormuz the Strait of Trump. And we might need to give the Islamic Republic of Iran the Saddam and Gomorrah treatment, because those fuckers, they gotta go. Now, the Donald dropped another nuke. Keir Starmer will resign as Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. He failed badly on two very important subjects, immigration and energy. Open the North Sea oil. I wish him well, President DJT. Very, very classy, Mr. President. But my favorite part about this is he tweeted this a day before Keir Starmer announced it. All right, a lot of people don't understand the level of balls that was. No one knew he was leaving. There was whispers. People were wondering. In my previous video, I said that there were early reports that potentially he was going to resign. You know, even Piers Morgan breaking. President Trump confirms Keir Starmer's resigning before Starmer confirmed it himself. No, this is truly the final fucking humiliation for this retard. Bro oversaw the rape of 250,000 British children, writing little warning notes to pedophiles, being like, if you pedophile again, could you please at least not get caught? It makes it so awkward to need to keep releasing Pakistani Muslims from prisons. Please, have the decency to not get caught when you gang rape children, please. We will ban children from social media so that they cannot report if they are getting raped by Muslims. It's very important. So while he's doing all that, the Donald decided to drop this nuke that's saying that, yes, he is in fact resigning. It's actually over for this retard. And yeah, breaking. Keir Starmer officially resigns, Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. This just happened right now, about an hour before this video, which is insane. Now, UK Prime Minister had a few things to say. He gave like a little 7-minute monologue, being a bitch, crying there like a pussy, but I'll show you a couple of good moments.
The question my party is asking now is whether I am best placed to lead us into the next general election. I have heard the answer of my parliamentary party to that question, and I accept that answer with good grace.
With good grace, my entire party said, hey, you fucking suck, retard. You have to go. We have to replace you or we have no chance of winning the great general election. So we're just gonna fucking deport your ass back into the commoner folk. That's right, fucking communist.
Every decision I've taken has been about putting the country I love first.
That's right. Every Muslim gang that raped a kid, Keir Starmer supported it, actually, I think. I think Keir Starmer loves it when that happens because it helps secure the communist utopia that he is fighting for. When he says puts his country first, like, a lot of people are wondering right now, is he referring to the UK? Because, I mean, literally 250,000 white girls were raped by Pakistani Muslims. Maybe he's referring to Pakistan. Maybe that's the country he's referring to. Or Ukraine. I mean, he gave billions of dollars to Ukraine while British people are starving on the streets. So maybe that's what he's referring to. Lots of possibilities here.
That is why I will resign as leader of the Labour Party.
Bye.
I have spoken to His Majesty the King this morning.
Queer Stalin, ding dong, the bitch is dead.
To inform him of my decision.
Ripperoonie.
I will ask the National Executive Committee of the Labour
Trump tweet was better.
Party to set out a timetable with nominations opening on the 9th of July.
Man, that sucks.
Completed by the summer recess.
Man, that sucks for you, man. It must really suck that, you know, all these Muslims were raping British kids. Think of the backlash it would have on peaceful politicians that are trying to stay in power when it gets exposed. Of course, Keir Starmer also cried because obviously he's a giant walking vagina. You know, thanks to Keir Starmer, the blue whale has the second biggest pussy on the planet.
And when I leave the biggest job in the country, I shall spend more time on the most important job, being the best husband I can to my fantastic wife, Vic, who has been a rock by my side through good times and bad.
Yeah.
And being the best dad I can to my beautiful children.
This is like ultimate humiliation. I have never seen humiliation this bad. Bro needs to go out there, talk about how my own party thinks I fucking suck for the country I have to leave. Holy shit.
Who are my pride and my joy. Thank you very much.
Damn. Bro, go. And the cheering. The applause. They're congratulating his decision on getting the fuck out of there. Oh, God. It feels so fucking good. Yeah, man, we toppled this fucker. Every one of us little people that contributed to shitting on this guy was important. Now, I want to make this clear. I will never forget that I had a video taken down from YouTube because I called this man the F slur. Okay, I called him the F slur. I'm not going to say it because YouTube fucking hates me right now and is suppressing my entire channel. You should definitely share my videos. All right, I called him the F slur. I got a video taken down because I offended the British government. I'm not exaggerating. That's a real thing that happened. Fuck this guy. Holy shit. This flagrant homosexual looking ass is gone. Now, Rupert Lowe responded appropriately. Starmer resigns. He has been a truly disgraceful prime minister. I do not believe him to be a good man or a patriot. He has deliberately and rapidly accelerated the destruction of our Britain, of our home. History will not remember him kindly, nor should it. I sat in Parliament, looked him in the eye, listening to him attempting to justify his decision to block a national inquiry into the mass rape of young British girls. I will never forgive him for that and so much else. What comes next, I do not know. Whatever that is, Restore Britain will be ready to offer the British people a democratic route out, a better way, the only way. But Starmer is gone, and that is a good thing. Enjoy it. Just a fucking base tweet, all in all. None of this like, he was a good man, he's doing what's right. No, he fucking sucked. He raped our country. He was awful. Fuck him. Based, actually. Now, for a slightly personal anecdote, I was talking to my grandfather the other day. He's 100 years old. He's a Holocaust survivor. He's the cutest man in the world. All right, and I told him the story of the British rape gangs. And I said that, you know, that there's, obviously, you would not hear of this. I said to my grandfather, he just reads, like, the newspaper and stuff. He has no idea about Twitter. All right, so I explained to him that, you know, there were these Pakistani grooming gangs, and they raped 250,000 British girls in England. And my grandfather said to me with tears in his eyes, "You're lying. I don't believe you. Churchill's England would never do that to its people." And I told him it's not Churchill's England anymore. And he was looking at me distraught. All right, and I explained to him that there's this new guy, Rupert Lowe. I was explaining to him all, he loves politics. So I'm explaining to him how there's this guy, he's Rupert Lowe. They're calling him like a far-right Nazi. And my grandfather, again, a Holocaust survivor, he said, Nazis are people stopping grooming gangs these days? Just like disgusted. But this guy's entire family was killed by actual Nazis. So anyway, just like a little personal anecdote, but what a fucking nightmare the UK is living through right now. Holy shit. So the Donald has been cooking the UK, specifically the BBC, the British Broadcasting Corps, a nice little dead platform that promotes all sorts of terrorist propaganda every day.
Are you able to confirm yet that it was a US missile?
Who you with?
BBC for the radio.
Fake BBC. You mean the ones that put AI in my mouth? The ones that gave me, that had me saying a statement that they now admit was not true? That the ones that put terrible words in my mouth and then had to admit that it was fake, the ones that are being sued now for $5 billion and don't know what to do. You're with BBC. They're another fake outfit.
Oh, God. Fucking murders. Like, Mr. President, I had a question. Where are you with BBC? 30-minute slaughter. Based, by the way. We should be humiliating these guys. In fact, BBC, every day, they publish a new article that's even worse than the last. Israeli strikes kill 6 people in Gaza, including Al Jazeera cameraman. Oh, a cameraman. It was literally a terrorist. Right? Yeah, he was also a cameraman, and he was also a Hamas terrorist. Right? This guy over here, this fucker, this retard who's out there wearing Hamas drip, holding fucking assault rifles and shit. Yeah, he also had a camera. Right? Just because he had a side hustle, it doesn't mean that these people shouldn't be fucking killed. And again, BBC is literally, this was an article from today. Now, police, this is shocking. Every day, you have to look at what happens in England and just literally slap yourself to make sure that you're awake. Police guided a grieving mother to soften her words after her daughter was stabbed 23 times by a Sudanese Muslim asylum seeker fearing another Southport. That's right. So, Sudanese Muslim, barbarian, actual savage animal, all right, decides that he's going to stab someone 23 times. Some little girl, stab her 23 times, all right, murder her. And then guess what? The police show up to the mother whose daughter was murdered by this asylum seeker and said to the mother, don't say anything publicly because this might cause Islamophobia. Right? You have to understand the level of fucked up we're dealing with here in this country. Right? And again, so that's what they do when a girl gets stabbed 23 times by a retarded cannibal. Okay? But you know what they say when they see some girls in public?
Why is he squaring up to him?
That's right.
Yo, he's got the baton!
Look at that. Yo! Beat the shit out of random women in public, but fucking retarded cannibals eat people's daughters and they tell them they have to be peaceful for Islamophobia purposes. Insane. Now, again, defending a Muslim child gang rapists is precisely what I'd expect from you, Mehdi. This is coming from Mehdi Hassan, a guy who, by the way, said it's a made-up number. It's a made-up number. There are no Muslim rape gangs. The numbers are made up. Pay no attention to reality. Of course, Muslims are great people, unlike the animals that are non-Muslims. All right, so then Mehdi Hassan says, I've never defended a rapist in my life, yada, yada, etc., etc. You literally worship a rapist. The holiest man in your religion is a rapist pedophile. Muhammad, police be upon him, is a fucking rapist pedophile. All right, he is a mass rapist, slaver, sex slaver, pedophile. Are we even serious here? And this is also in the same context of him defending gigantic swaths of Islamic grooming gangs. All right, so you have to understand what's going on. Bro is defending Muslim grooming gangs, worshiping a rapist pedophile, criticizing Donald Trump. Are we on the same page? Now, bro managed to find some white pedophile and be like, has Elon Musk tweeted about this guy? Anything to obfuscate from like the actual situation here or something. We're literally doing this all over the time. It's like, oh, did Elon Musk talk about side A? I notice Elon Musk is stirring up a lot of hatred towards side B. Both sides do it. There's literally no difference. Yes, many such cases. Now, Hassan finally addressed the rape gangs after so much pushback, but he does it by basically running defense for Pakistani Muslims.
Hello, Muslim rape gang apologist.
True! Truth nuke! Got him! Yes!
You
no
good,
lies.
bro?
No
I
lies.
swear to God, these guys are like, they're bots, right? They get their new talking.
Only bots are against the mass rape of children by Muslims. It's pretty incredible. The lengths you need to go to be defending Islamic rape gangs.
Points, and then immediately they're off to the fucking races. Very normal thing to type on a Twitch chat on a Sunday evening. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, speak out against rape gangs. I have, and will
so
continue
brave.
to do so.
So brave, so brave. Not gonna bring up
You
the
know,
issue at all.
The Epstein pedophilia.
Oh, I talk about rape gangs. Epstein was a rapist, actually. So brave. So brave. Wow, look at this guy. Look at this guy.
A rape gang, for example,
Wow, he's so brave.
is one of the primary rape gangs I speak out against.
Wow, what a guy! And then he basically spends the rest of the video talking about Epstein. Like, you cannot even make this shit up. These people actually fucking suck tremendously. It's insane. It's like, hey, did you know that 250,000 fucking white women were raped by Muslim rape gangs? And he's like, I talk about rape gangs. Like, for example, Jeffrey Epstein was a rape gang. Could we like be serious for like a fucking second here? Now, just to be clear, first of all, you're allowed to care about multiple rape gangs, but that's one. And two, Jeffrey Epstein wasn't even remotely as much of a travesty as the Islamic grooming gangs in England. It's actually really not even close. I know. It's shocking. You're not allowed to say these things. But look, I'm not minimizing. Jeffrey Epstein was a monster. Obviously, there were probably like a dozen victims and stuff. That's horrible. There were 250,000 victims, actually. 250,000 victims to this shit. Now, again, like, we're doing this meme every time. It's like Mehdi Hassan freaks out. It's like, a Muslim was stabbed the same week Rupert Lowe exposed 1 million rapist pedophile Muslims. Right? Again, you have to understand what we're dealing with here. This is the retard mind of the fucking Muslim extremists that actually support Muslims raping you. I hope you understand. Again, they want you to get raped by a Muslim. That's the goal. And once you put it into that perspective, you actually start to understand what's going on. So the same week that Rupert Lowe put out his bullshit rape gang report, falsely claiming Muslims raped 250,000 white girls, it's true. The same week Elon Musk amplified it, now people get stabbed. I don't think they did get stabbed, mate. But aside from that, I love how it's like, man, if you expose Muslim pedophiles, think about the backlash on peaceful Muslims. Think about the backlash on peaceful Muslims that we'll have. And it's like, every single time, it's like, right-wingers are the real racists because they get angry when grooming gangs molest little kids. Yeah! Right-wingers are the real racists because they don't like retarded cannibals eating children. Now, Sneeko, of course, has the same sentiment as Hassan. You'll notice, Sneeko, far right, Hassan, far left, or whatever label you want to put on them. Interestingly enough, they have the same exact opinions. So when it's Pakistanis, it's a Muslim grooming gang. But when it's Epstein Island, why is it not called a Jewish conspiracy? Every Jew criticized Epstein. Epstein was not a religious Jew at all. Did you ever see him with a yarmulke? He didn't observe the Sabbath. All right, obviously, he was not religious in any way. He was just a really fucked up pedophile. Absolute monstrous pedophile. When drugs are smuggled over the border, why is it just a Mexican cartel instead of a Catholic one? Oh, I'll explain to you, actually. It's because nowhere in the tenets of Judaism or Catholicism does it exist to propagandize people to rape kids, actually. That doesn't exist anywhere in Catholicism or Judaism. Every Jew and every Christian I know condemn the Muslim, Epstein Island, and condemn the drug traffickers, as well as the pedophilia in the Catholic Church that's uncovered every once in a while. All right? Every single Catholic I know condemns it openly and immediately with sadness in their heart. Every Jew condemns Epstein, who also, by the way, did not organize his sex ring on Jewish ethnicity. The Pakistani rape gangs were gigantic communities of thousands of people that all knew this was happening, all worked together to cover it up, and it actually does follow the tenets of Islam. Taking non-Muslims as sex slaves is actually very fucking common in your literature. And you know what? You want to know the craziest thing? I, personally, have never ever seen a Jew or a Christian do this LARP when a Jew or a Christian gets exposed for being a pedophile. I, in fact, have not seen a single Muslim condemn the rape gangs. That's the craziest part. In fact, most Muslims deny their existence. Cenk Uygur, Mehdi Hassan, Hassan Piker, and Sneeko are all literally making believe it's not a real thing. All right, they are ignoring its reality. I don't know of a single Catholic that says, yeah, there's no such thing. There was never pedophilia in the Catholic Church. That never happened. I have never seen a Jew say, well, Jeffrey Epstein wasn't really a pedophile. I have never seen that ever because it's deplorable, obviously. But for some reason, every single Muslim guy on the internet is running defense for the Pakistani grooming gangs. Have you noticed? Isn't that weird? Isn't that weird? Where are all the moderate Muslims to call out the extreme Muslims? That's so weird. Lol, pedos talking about Epstein. Epstein! It's Epstein, guys! They are still literally marrying children in almost every single Muslim country right now. 2.3 million young girls are married to adult men in Iran as we speak. Houthis are still marrying 8 and 9-year-olds. In Afghanistan, people are still selling their 9-year-old daughters to their 50-year-old cousins. Epstein is rookie numbers compared to fucking Yemen. Approximately 3.8 million girls and women in Yemen married under the age of 18 as of recent estimates. Again, you have to understand how insane this is. Of these, 1.3 million are married before the age of 15. All right, hello. And you want to know the crazy part? Every single Muslim kind of supports it. Ask yourself, why all these influencers that made like these really cool videos on how Jeffrey Epstein was a monster and stuff, and he was a monster, and I made a bunch of videos on it too. All right, ask me why. Why did none of them cover these Muslim grooming gangs? Is it because it's not socially acceptable? I didn't see any CoffeeZilla video or Penguin Zero video or Some Ordinary Gamers video on the fucking gigantic Muslim grooming gang operation in England. I wonder why. I wonder why. Oh, but Epstein, that's really safe because he has emails with Trump and he's an elite and stuff. All right, interesting. So Sneeko keeps going. It's pretty awesome.
Jeffrey Epstein was not Muslim. The biggest...
True. He was friends with Muslims. He literally had pieces of the Kaaba cloth that he bought. He was friends with a lot of Muslims, actually.
Recorded grooming gang in modern history of black...
No, actually, the worst grooming gangs in modern history were obviously the Islamic grooming gangs throughout all of the Middle East. They still exist to this day, as well as the ones that are being imported to Europe and America. It is, in fact, infinitely worse than Epstein, and you have to be retarded if you don't believe it. Then you get the fucking retard Avengers in the comments. Yes, the rape gang hoax is a Zionist, Goyslop Zionist psyop. Wow, it's a Zionist hoax. Yes. The 250,000 girls raped by Muslims is actually a Zionist scam. Account based in Brazil. Anti-communism is Goyslop, right? So he's just pure communist. All right, you have to understand what we're doing here. The Jews invented communism, so they're bad. The Jews invented capitalism, so they're bad. It's pretty interesting stuff, honestly, I have to say. All right, now, one of the biggest twists I've ever seen in my entire life is there's this guy, Rabbi Yosef Mizrahi. He's been going viral lately, like there are memes of him basically crashing out on everybody. So Sneeko begged this rabbi to do a stream with him. The rabbi turned him down, and then the rabbi started calling him a brown clown. What? No, this isn't real.
Now, many Muslims are now very interested in Judaism. Why? There's one Muslim clown, someone who converted to Islam, supposedly somebody on social media, has millions of views, millions of followers, likes to laugh a lot, to cut parts from the lecture and laugh under the picture. You know how they are? It's a new style now.
Oh my God.
Like a little chimpanzee on the corner laughing.
Little chimpanzee in the corner. Bro, we're getting fucking rabbis out there slaughtering Sneeko on the timeline.
And you have many other chimpanzees out there in the jungle, and they laugh with him. But we have a saying in the Torah, צוחק מי שצוחק אחרון. Doesn't matter who laughs now. Laugh all you want. We will see how you laugh when you stand in front of Hashem for your trial.
Bro,
good luck trying to laugh there. When they will show you your stupid laugh, making laugh at things. By the way, you should know that a lot of the listeners over there became fascinated with my lectures. I'm beginning to get more and more emails every day. I'm Muslim, I found you here, I found you by Tucker, I found you by Candice, I found you by the snake. Every one of them have a name. Snake.
The snake.
Sneeko, Sneeko.
Oh,
Sneeko.
Miserable, bro.
Sneeko. Adam and Eve and the Sneeko. So,
Adam and Eve and the Sneeko. Oh my God, he's fucking killing him.
Whatever. So, you know, Baruch Hashem, they have a...
Oh my God. And apparently Muslims are converting to Judaism or something because they're seeing his lectures. You know, the truth is the internet destroyed Islam. It did. Because Islam is kind of a retarded religion. Look, I'm just saying from the outside perspective, you have to have there's a reason why they're inbreeding in all these countries, because otherwise you're going to be too intelligent to be part of Islam. So with the internet, you have Muslims mostly converting to Christianity, honestly. You have some converting to Judaism too, because once you actually start hearing criticisms of Islam, like Muhammad probably did not fly up to heaven on a winged horse, and your semen does not come from like your ribs, all right, which is a belief in Islam, and the earth actually is not flat and in a geocentric universe where the sun spins around the earth. And all of a sudden this shit, it breaks your mind all of a sudden. All right, of course you have these retards in England. They keep going. So this is Bushra Shaikh. All right, this is a important person in the British area and like the BBC. Apparently, I'm sick of it. Day after day, Muslims are demonized, smeared, and scapegoated, and treated as fair game by politicians, media establishments, and professional outrage merchants chasing clicks, votes, and attention. They pour fuel on fear and division, and suddenly they discover their silence when ordinary Muslims are attacked by a man with a machete simply for being Muslim. Oh, I don't think that happened, mate. What happened in Edinburgh is exactly why so many of us have been sounding the alarm for years. Anti-Muslim hatred doesn't just emerge from nowhere. It grows in an environment where hate and prejudice is normalized and rewarded and amplified. Actually, most Muslim prejudices comes when you rape 250,000 little girls. I think that probably causes some of the prejudice. Enough. Absolutely enough. Muslims should not have to live with a constant message that they are suspect to their own community and country. I think they should leave. You know, I say this for the sake of Muslims. For the sake of every Muslim. you would be much safer if you went back to Pakistan. This is my hot take. My hot take is if you went back to Pakistan, your life would be fucking awesome. You should do that. Outsiders in their own communities are targets for someone else's political project. The people stoking this hostility need to answer for the climate they are helping to create. Yeah, let's arrest Elon Musk for saying that raping kids is bad. This is going to be good. It's going to be huge. Now, this is basically all I heard. Repulsive alien hysteria. This is how I read every single one of her tweets. Just sitting there with the fucking infinite empathy bullshit as they rape 250,000 kids to absolute silence by the establishment. You know, here you get more of these retards. The anti-Muslim hatred in the UK is funded by Zionists and promoted by Elon Musk. Zionist W. Complete Zionist W. We take those. We take those Zionists. Let's go. W Zionists. Woo! Huge Zionist W. Let's go. Yeah, all right. Now, again, it turns out Labour, the party that's currently in power, has been keeping record of everyone that criticizes Muslims.
So, Secretary of State, Home Secretary Truthful.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We have repeatedly raised serious concerns with the government's Islamophobia definition. Now, South Wales Police has instructed staff to record anything that goes beyond, quote, legitimate discussion of Islam, even if there is no crime. This could then be destroyed.
That's right. If you say Islam is a retarded religion, hypothetically, I would never say something like that. But if you were to say something like that, hypothetically, you're going on a list.
Closed on someone's DBS check. Police officers in South Wales will now have to decide what is or is not legitimate discussion of Islam. No other religion is treated that way in South Wales.
How weird?
This is completely wrong. Parliament has repealed rightly blasphemy laws. Criticising religion is part of free speech. So does the Home Secretary agree that this guidance is wrong and should be immediately scrapped? Let's try a simple yes or no.
Home Secretary.
Well, given that this he represents a party and a former government that didn't take any action at all, either on dealing with hate crimes, anti-Muslim hatred.
Oh, I'm dealing with hate crimes, so I am censoring speech, actually.
Or other forms of hatred. I'm not going to take any lessons from him. Let me just make very clear from this dispatch box, the police, wherever they are, South Wales or anywhere else, must always police without fear or favour, and we are all and must always be equal before the law.
In other words, yes, we are actually just going to be arresting people for tweets criticizing Islam. Man, it's just so good. That's right. That's right. If you ever tweeted in England, actually brushing your teeth with a stick is a bad idea, and you shouldn't wipe your butt. All right, after taking a shit, if you wipe your butt, maybe don't do it with rocks. All right, you might be on a list for criticizing Islam. All right, now actor Giancarlo Esposito, you might remember him. He recently made this whole thing about starting a revolution in America.
This is time for a revolution. It's time for it, and they don't even know that's what they're starting. You know, some very rich old white men are exerting their power to suppress our own people, thus creating a feeling of civil war in the streets, preparing the haters to hate, teaching them how to shoot. They're not even trained right, to kill. This is all a preparation for a very insidious problem that's happening in our world. And for me, I have to speak out that we will not be iced out. This is not going to happen. They can't take us all down.
I love how he's talking like, I am one of the little folk just like you, literally dressed as like a fucking Hunger Games elite.
If the whole world showed up on Putin's doorstep or on the Iranians' doorstep or in Washington, it would stop. They'll kill 550 million, however, but the rest of us would survive with a new. We
might lose 50 million people to kill Trump, but that's a sacrifice Giancarlo Esposito is willing to take.
Time for a revolution. It's time for it, and they don't even know that's what they're starting. But we have to be strong enough to know.
Yeah, so bro's calling for a revolution where 50 million Americans die to kill Trump. He also just converted to Islam. Isn't that funny? He's officially converted to Islam. Wow. Violent insurrectionist that hates America converts to Islam. It's perfect, because that's the religion that hates Islam. That's awesome. It's the violent political movement that also hates America. Yo, I'm happy you found a home for yourself. Yup, the right don't seem to realize that white people rape too. So does that mean all white people are to blame for a few sick bastards among us? And it's like, this is every single time. Most of these circles are red. What? There's a blue one right there. This is how everyone is responding to the rape gang shit. And then the leftists be like, actually, do you know the major reason why there are so many rape gangs in our country? It's actually because of Western imperialism. We bombed terrorists in the Middle East, so now the European overlords needed to import 1 million retarded cannibals into their countries as recompense. Actually, they didn't fucking need to do that, and they are finding out really quickly an alternate position to take. Hassan, the communist, visits Cuba. Is so insufferable the Cubans abandon communism. This is literally where we are up to right now in modern politics. Hassan Piker so insufferable, even the communists can't stand him. Now, for those of you unaware what's going on, all of Latin America, all the left that's been basically vice-gripping Latin America for a long time, it's all collapsing right now. Cuba begins its largest economic reform since the 1959 revolution. By the way, pay attention, the Donald puts a little bit of pressure on Cuba, and all of a sudden, all the Cubans find a way to find a new policy. Wow. The country's parliament unanimously approved radical reforms that provide for the privatization of a significant part of the economy. You mean to tell me the communism failed and they are literally voting it out before Trump bombs the heck out of him? It's pretty insane to watch. Like, and you know, leftoids in the future are going to be like, actually, Cuba was a successful communist project. No, it wasn't. Okay, it was not. It was so bad that people were starving and in darkness, right, with electricity outages everywhere because they couldn't afford anything, that they literally had to unanimously vote to give away property owned by the state to the people, because actually privatization makes everything better. The plan provides for a private real estate development, the creation of private banks, wow, the transformation of some state enterprises into commercial companies with shares, and the easing of restrictions for private business. The turn towards market was supported by the Communist Party and the country's former leader, Raul Castro, against whom the United States recently brought charges in connection with the downing of humanitarian aid planes in 1996. So just to understand, the communists have been oppressing the people in Cuba for a long time. We topple Venezuela, which cripples both Iran and Cuba. All right, we go to war with Iran. We threaten Cuba. We obliterate Iran's entire infrastructure, and Cuba, terrified that they are next on the chopping block, decided, you know what? They're just going to vote to end the evil regime themselves, because otherwise we're going to Maduro these motherfuckers, and they know that that's exactly what's going to happen. Hassan Piker visits Cuba. 3 months later, they quit communism. Holy shit. Nobody wants to associate with this guy. Just absolutely miserable. But that's not the only colossal Latin American W that we've seen lately. First of all, you have the communists be like really depressed about Cuba. It feels so over. No! Really depressed about Cuba. Feels so over, says retard in California. It's like, no! Please! Right, you have to understand, this is exactly, the LARPists, the LARPers are so mad. The poor LARPers. He supports the communist revolution. Meanwhile, Cuba falls apart because communism never actually works, and it's a cancerous system that hates God, obviously. Duh. Turns out when God said in the Bible, thou shalt not steal, and that private property actually exists, and the communists thought they knew better than God, it turns out that they were wrong, and they did not know better than God. Many such cases. God is like, we need to develop a system where everyone owns their land and inherits their land from their fathers, and they own it privately, but they still manage to give away tithes to the poor and stuff. As some kind of social service, I suppose. Then the communists be like, actually, God, we know better than you. Why don't we give everything away to everybody? And then the country collapses, because actually you need privatization, otherwise everything fails. It's so weird how God is always right. Isn't it weird how that happens? Anyway, so the other massive breaking news, right-wing candidate, they've been calling him far-right for a long time, the right-wing candidate, this guy, has been elected as the new president of Colombia. Understand, Abelardo de la Espriella is currently the presidente electo de Colombia por el movimiento defensores de la patria, padre esposos. Anyway, he's a fucking Giga Chad right-wing goat. And El Trumpo is very happy about this, obviously. El Trumpo was considering taking over Colombia. I actually have no idea if he was. I just assume world domination is always on his mind. So currently, this happened, and the dude won. Elon Musk responds with cool, because it seems like actually the entire left-wing vice grip that's been gripping all of Latin America for decades is completely collapsing. All the left-wing governments are falling apart. Rubio responds. Rubio has been so fucking good about this shit. Just toppling. Bro is just sitting in his fucking office toppling communist regimes every day, and I could not be prouder. Just spoke to the Colombian president-elect, this guy, to congratulate him on his electoral victory. The Trump administration looks forward to working closely with your incoming administration to advance regional security cooperation, end illegal immigration to the United States, and strengthen our economic ties. Colombia's best days are ahead. Just understand, every single one of these fucking retards is cooked. Rubio out there, I will sanction them, we'll topple that regime, we'll help out these guys a little bit, we'll cut off funding to those fuckers, and slowly but surely, all of Latin America becomes capitalist, right-wing, patriotic countries that actually love themselves and can actually produce things of value, as opposed to communist shitholes that literally just oppress their own people all day because that's what they do. Man, just absolute cinema. Now, the Colombian president that lost, Colombian President Gustavo Petro, this is the guy, the communist that just lost, says he does not recognize the results of the Colombia election. This is every single left-wing guy, by the way. Every left-wing guy does this thing where they lose elections and then they don't recognize results. Maduro did the same thing in Venezuela, by the way, so we decided to yoink him. We decided to throw him into the same jail cell as Diddy. It was fun. Accusing, guess what? You're not ready. Israel of compromising Colombia's election software. You cannot even fucking make this shit up. All right, so here we have Colombian president, communist, Gustavo Petro loses his election, blames Israel. Says Israel actually, they stole the election for the opposition. First of all, I just want to make this very clear. If true, W Israel, let's go! Toppling communists every day, W Israel, corrupting communist elections, let's freaking go. Yeah, all right, so anyways, so if true, W Israel. All right, that's one. If not true, which it's totally not true because obviously Israel is very preoccupied right now. They're currently fighting fucking 3 wars at the same time, dealing with fucking Hamas and Hezbollah and Iran all together, all at the same time. There's elections happening in Israel soon. Lots of things are happening, but of course, communist retard decides to lose, blame Israel. Again, I have to say, the Israel shit, it's like the lowest IQ sloppaganda of all time. And all the fucking commies that, that are retarded, all the commies and Muslims that come from inbred backgrounds, they all fucking love that shit. This patriot says, I believe Israel hacked the Colombian election. They also hacked my browser history and made it look like I watched numerous gay and transgender pornography videos. Yes, the reason why you are fat and don't have a girlfriend is because of Israel. Yes, information, knowledge, and Israel. Anyway, we understand exactly how this works. It's pretty good. So now, again, Sulaiman Ahmed, this is a fucking Pakistani retard that meddles and everything. Israel rigged the Colombian elections. You know, bro, dude, like, oh my fucking... I'm telling you, man, this is unreal. Dog, it is so fucking sad, dude. You are being psyoped by retards. It's crazy. People are falling for it. People are falling for it. Even Asmongold losing his mind over the Jew shit because it's going crazy.
And I think that so many of these people are actual goyim, and you've been convinced that Israel is your biggest enemy while you side with other people that want to ethnically and demographically replace you in a different way, and you think that they're on their side. That's what's happening to you. And you're being played for a fucking fool, thinking that Jews are the source of all of your problems, when meanwhile, you have a dozen other ethnic groups doing the exact same fucking thing. And they're trying to make you fixate on Jews because they don't want you to think about them. That's the reason why.
You mean to tell me that the reason why all the Pakistanis that are supporting the grooming gangs are criticizing the Jews and blaming Epstein and stuff is because they actually just support their grooming gangs and they're trying to obfuscate or something? No, you're wrong, Asmongold. Actually, Israel did rig the Colombian elections, you fool! Absolute buffoon! It used to be called Colombia, but now it is Shalombia! Shalombian Reich, 3,000 years, starts today. W Jews, toppling communists, wherever they are. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, the point that I'm trying to make is, this is socialists trying to win Latin American elections with no USAID funding. It's very embarrassing. It's very sad. They keep trying, but they keep losing, actually, because it turns out they're retarded communists and they fucking suck. And there is no actual way for them to win elections without the support of some more powerful capitalist country. You see, actually, they are inherently retarded bullshit operations that do not exist. They cannot maintain themselves. Their people die. Their people starve. They need outward funding. Just like Cuba was only kind of existing as a communist society, getting money infusions from Venezuela and free oil and shit because they were occupied by the Chinese Communist Party. We kicked them out and then they died because it turns out communism cannot survive on its own. It is a cancerous ideology that can only exist on the backs of capitalism to keep it alive while it oppresses people because these are retarded leftoid inbreds that want power. All right, understand, they cannot get votes, so they import voters. All right, why do you think every Muslim loves fucking communists? They love that shit. They get imported because they need infinite retarded bodies to vote for them. They bring in the retards vote for them, they stay in power, and then they give the retards money earned by actual intelligent people. That's right. The white people work hard, the retards come into the country for votes, and the fucking communists, they take the money for the white people and give it to the inbreds. So then the inbreds lose their election, blame Israel. Can't blame the white people. The white people might start noticing, actually, and might start kicking you out of their countries and shit. So you gotta blame Israel because, hey, Some white people don't like Israel, so that'll be a really easy way to do it. But unfortunately, the Colombian Empire is only starting today. That's right. USAID gets cut off, and all of a sudden they all stop winning elections. All of a sudden the entire world becomes more right-wing under Trump. That's right. We are just dialing the winning up to 11, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't stop. Anyway, of course, Hassan Piker had this to say. This is an old tweet. App idea. Always delete your last Google search. It's never where I can find apples. It's always donkey rape. Now, there is people are wondering why Hassan Piker used to be looking up donkey rape, and then they remembered that actually bestiality seems to run in their family. Now, Hassan's been having a really bad day. I don't know what this is going on. Apparently, he's beefing with Moist Critical, big commentary YouTuber guy. So I'm excited to see what this is all about.
Massive day for the unemployed. Moist Critical is in hot water, but at least he can swim.
W, he's not black, so, you know.
He got himself into a bit of a pickle that angered Hassan and his goon squad.
Oh, no! He pissed off a terrorist.
How the f do you have such a big audience when you are this irresponsible?
It was a misinput. Bro covered the H3 versus iDubbbz lawsuit, and that pissed them off. He uploaded a video titled Useless, and he was very upset.
Yeah, I had a feeling it was going to be a pretty poisonous topic where the only winning move is not to play.
So what in the helicopter happened? This unemployed bum was calling out Critical for not being unemployed enough. You can't even make it up.
But I don't, like, doom scroll Twitter and see a bunch of things anymore. Look at the last tweet I made. So, like, I don't see a lot of these things that are going on anymore. So, like, I'm not even really a streamer, so I don't even see a lot of that either.
The guy whose entire career is front-running whatever's going viral is saying that he doesn't know what's going on the internet.
Yeah, that's what he said. If he's only looking at the viral stuff, it means he's not online. What?
I mean, obviously, we gotta take his word for it, right? Let's see what video.
I understand who this guy is. This is a communist, all right? So all of his favorite guys just lost their election. So you gotta cut him some slack.
Videos he's been making. Lego. Watch Mojo got even more pathetic. Degenerate cringe. I know you don't care about this. That's your entire channel.
Jesus Christ.
I hate echo chambers.
He is so mad. He's so mad. You see, the thing is, when you're a communist, it's really difficult because that means that everyone that's not completely retarded and mind raped is just not on the same page as you. For the record, I'm pretty sure the situation is in regards to how iDubbbz, big Hassan Piker dick sucker, iDubbbz basically put an image stating that Ethan Klein, another YouTuber, leftist, a liberal, it's just liberals eating each other. It's my favorite content. All right, so liberal guy Ethan Klein, he puts up a fucking thing saying that Ethan Klein rapes his own kids. Ethan Klein sues iDubbbz. iDubbbz apologizes. Moist Critical makes a video saying that he's not a fan of lawsuits in general in like the YouTube sphere. And then retarded communist is like, no, actually, you're supposed to hate Ethan because Ethan is Jewish and Jews are bad. I think that's basically what's happening.
I spit on that.
Oh my god, he's LARPing.
Constantly. I actively shut down the idea that you have to agree with everything I say or else I hate you. You're tacky and I hate you. Throughout all my content, from the womb to the tomb, I have always welcomed discussion and people having a difference of opinion because, as I've always said, I think when you surround yourself with sycophants and you only lock yourself into one way of viewing things, you do yourself a disservice. I think it is a bad thing.
I have some people in my audience that say it's the Jews, and I have some people in my audience say that isn't the Jews. Now, they're both wrong, because obviously it is the Jews, but it's not always the Jews. That is the correct answer to all the things. I'm really glad that we had this discussion.
You just be constantly locked in a bubble.
Yeah, I get so many people criticizing me. It's like, oh my god, Nux, I can't believe you would, like, collab and be friendly with, like, this guy. He's an anti-Semite. Everyone's an anti, like, let's be real. Like, what do you want me to say? Sometimes it is actually the Jews. We have to be honest about it.
And this doesn't just apply to lunatic leftists. This goes for those Trump supporters who are like, release the files, yeah. And then something happens and they're like, well, maybe the files aren't real, actually.
Proudly stating they didn't watch
I don't think anyone said that. Not even the right-winger said that. Not even Donald Trump said that.
The video, and then getting angry at things they assumed I might have said in it. Or attacking me for things that I never said that aren't in the video because they didn't watch it. Or they're...
You mean to tell me that the communists that thrive on lies, because obviously if you don't thrive on lies, communism dies, all right? Communism can exist if you have a functioning brain and have information in it. Because, you know, it's never ever worked throughout all of human history. There's never an example of successful communism. So obviously, if you're a communist, you have to believe in retarded bullshit. That's just part and parcel. So Mike from PA, radical leftist that promotes revolution and communism, Yeah, it turns out he doesn't live in reality, actually.
Use Twitter, by the way. I don't use Twitter, by the way. For all the lazy ass thumbnails. Also, he has the Asmongoldien outfit where he only wears a dirty white t-shirt in every thumbnail. God, every single video is like, guys, he's gotta stay offline to make his Panda Express tier list.
This guy thinks he's some kind of like commie revolutionary like Che Guevara or something. These people take the politics slop so seriously because they have nothing else going on.
Also, he kind of looks like a Wookiee, I'm noticing.
In their life.
Do you guys realize how far I have just fallen?
Actually making shit up that they're pulling out of their ass that I never said. So it just feels useless to even engage in the topic in that case.
Correct. When you engage with terrorism, they're not gonna with terrorists. They don't act in good faith. Actually, I know it's surprising. A lot of people want to make believe that terrorists are actually kind of good people on the side. They just have some different opinions of things. No, but actually they suck. Actually, terrorists just fucking suck in general. So yeah, when you engage with the terrorist community, they treat you badly. Yep, makes sense.
Like it's so odd. Like what?
Look how, it's so odd. Meanwhile, Hassan. He calls me a pedophile and tech donor rapist. An Asmongold, mother killer. You know, he goes out there, he has his nicknames for everyone. It's all slander and lies. And you just have to, I guess, live with it because that's how leftists operate. All right, you shine some truth onto a leftist position and it dies. It withers away like a vampire.
One that I didn't expect was just me mentioning that I'm not online as much as I used to be was apparently like a highly debated topic.
In fact, Critical is so offline, he forgot about the rules of the internet. Don't feed the trolls.
I can't be too quick to something or too interested in it, because that's frowned upon, but I also can't be too slow to it or not cover it at all, because then that must mean that I knew about it the whole time.
I might commit career suicide here and have Moist Critical finish all over my stomach, but guys, I think he's losing some major aura here. Who gives a what any of these nerds think? He even knows it's useless himself, but he's still engaging them for some reason.
The way I find out about a lot of the things I cover is through, like I said, friends sending it to me, or when I do stream, which isn't daily. I'm a semi-retired streamer, but when I do stream, stream chat.
The terrorists broke this man. He thought he was going to engage with good faith people, and then the terrorists decided, no, actually, we need to kill this guy.
Putting things on my radar, and naturally, what people are probably going to be sending are the popular things, because that's what they've seen. So that's usually what I get sent. But it's not all the time either. Like on his stream as he was scrolling around talking about how it's only like, you know, the big popular stuff, he passed multiple things that weren't. Like that video about not enough people think about this.
Never explain and never complain, big fella. These sheep won't understand the line either way.
And I say this as someone who has been on the receiving end of Moist Critical's commentary.
Receiving end, huh?
I do think
receiving end. Moist Critical made fun of you for electrocuting your dog, bro. Are you serious?
I think that it sided, perhaps, or gave far too much charitability to the party that is engaging in frivolous litigation.
At least he didn't try to call him a right-wing grifter like iDubbbz.
It's part of the pipeline, though. It's the same reason people wouldn't say Charlie, Moist Critical, is right-wing or like as ideologically out there as like a Nick Fuentes or even Asmongold, right?
I mean, people like this who are so politically captured are honestly not even worth spending your time on. And on the WestJet channel, we love equal representation. Even this girl went after Critical.
Disappointed with Philly D and Charlie.
The entire terrorist community came together to shit on this guy for saying that a father rapes his own kids is not a good thing. Isn't that incredible? Dude's entire take, was, yo, actually, you shouldn't slander people and say that they rape their own children. And all of the terrorists came together to say that he's a bad person.
Anyone else, and they'd be all over this. I'm going to say something really quickly. First of all,
the Palestine position of actually raping kids is insane.
If Ethan was getting sued again, they would have covered it and glazed the shit out of him. Second, cowardly. Cowardly. Oh my God. I don't know if you're just being a little pussy or you got some crazy skeletons in your closet, but dude.
To be fair to Moist Critical, he didn't even cover the first lawsuits in the first place either, so I don't know what she's going on about.
Cringe. I will accept an apology, man. I will accept an apology. Let the official rulings come out. If it goes to trial, I'll win a trial.
Look, man, I just wanted to see him crying about Colombian elections. I didn't think it would all be bitching about how, oh, this guy made a video and he was critical towards a friend of mine.
And then I didn't want to cover this because I didn't want to get harassed. I can't believe so much of the cowardice online. I am so disappointed by all of the cowardice on the internet. You people would literally, all of you slob tubers would be harmed by a fair use ruling against you.
So recently, Denim's won her tentative ruling against Ethan Klein, who was suing her for reacting to a video, and she's pissed that Critical didn't react to it.
Is being touted as a tentative loss for Ethan, which I don't know what a tentative loss really means, because it's not an official loss, it's still an ongoing lawsuit here. But the judge had like a very seemingly stern view on it.
I don't know what it is either, to be honest. I'm just the guy who says the word ninja and then bleeps it out so you guys laugh.
All of these people who their content is react content, their content is taking other people's content and transforming it, they would be hurt by a rule.
Literally cry about it. Like, these people are all retarded. They don't think. All right, listen, I'll explain to you what copyright lawsuit actually is. All right, let me explain how this works. She said that she wanted to react to the app video to make a replacement of the original video. That app obviously is violation of copyright. She should lose her lawsuit, to be honest, probably. The reality is, if you're saying that just by the fact that you're reacting to it makes it automatically transformed content, and now somehow it doesn't necessarily count as the original in some way, then I should be able to react to TV shows. Why can't I just post my little guy in the corner reacting to TV shows all the time? All right, uncensored, unedited, I should be able to do that by the same exact calculation that you have. I should be able to react to TV shows and to football games, and obviously I can't do that. All right, and there's no reason why a TV show should have different IP laws than someone's YouTube video. All right, these people are all being retarded, and I think purposefully retarded.
Ruling that said no react content.
Women. Other active lawsuits against other creators, and I called him the Nintendo of YouTubers because he's become extremely litigious. But I didn't dive into those other lawsuits because I didn't know much about them. And that claim is apparently extremely hard to believe because everyone thinks and assumes that I am terminally online like I used to be 2 or 3 years ago.
Defending yourself against these people is a futile endeavor. Maybe it's me, maybe I'm overreading it, but I don't know.
No, bro, you can't. Bro, you don't negotiate with terrorists. You don't negotiate with terrorists.
Not related to Charlie, but who listens to these people? You gotta be down in the absolute dumps to give these people your time. Then again, people watch my channel. True. But, to be fair, I don't push anything on you, at least directly.
Again, a lot of the drama from this isn't even about my take on it, it's about clips of my take on it without even giving why I think that.
Okay, that's just Twitter being Twitter. You really think people nowadays have the attention span to watch a full video without like an AI summary?
I know you don't care about this. That's your entire channel. Another tweet as a source. Tweet as a source of his video. Tweet as a source of his video. Tweet as a source of his video. I don't use Twitter, by the way. I don't use Twitter, by the way.
This guy okay? He's getting a little too pressed over this.
He's
Bro's
retarded.
getting a cortisol spike.
He's a communist.
Do you have such a big audience when you are this irresponsible in your messaging? Again, remember, he said someone filing a DMCA claim on YouTube was beyond the pale.
Dude, this guy needs to take notes from Critical and get offline himself. Like, I'm genuinely worried for his sanity.
Everyone should hate
What sanity?
you, but not filing multiple frivolous lawsuits.
Everyone should hate you.
It's in federal court.
I'm telling you, this isn't a can of worms you want to get into. These people hate Ethan Klein more than they love their mother, dude. This is some deep-seated hatred.
I kind of feel I feel bad for Charlie in a way because he walked into he committed the mortal sin of not calling Ethan Klein a genocidal Zionist that wants to see every Palestinian.
I'm so happy Asmongold is finally on the right side of history. I have been saying this for months. For months. Asmongold is gonna come around. He's gonna realize, yes, these guys actually, all of their politics is just they support Islamic terrorism. That's why they don't care about the Islamic rape gangs. That's why they support Hamas and Hezbollah and all that shit, because they just love Islamic terrorism. That's right. That's what it's all about. Ethan does not love Islamic terrorism, so therefore he's bad. It's that simple, actually. They support the framework that allows Islamic terrorism to happen. They want communism because communism means that these people fucking need votes, so these need to import Muslims to do terrorism. It's all part of the same fucking spider web, and it's really simple.
That hates his own children, and he's evil.
I just can't help but pity the people that make Israel or Palestine their whole personality.
Exactly,
There's more important things to worry about, like the World Cup.
World Cup!
Okay, obviously I'm exaggerating and being facetious. I think caring about things is important, but to what extreme, right? To what level should you care about these external problems that don't really impact your life in any way? Israel isn't the one stopping you from getting a girlfriend. It's Qatar. You made it this far, we both know you're unemployed as hell and you belong.
Oh my god, what a fucking retard shit show, man. I can't take these people seriously at all. Fat, lonely, communist, whore terrorists all coming together to fucking glaze each other nonstop in this endless cycle of depravity where they hate the West and slowly die. It's honestly pretty, it's unbelievable. It's truly incredible stuff. Their legacy will be, they LARPed a lot and then died. Some died of obesity, some died of sexually transmitted diseases, and some died in Gitmo. But these childless, miserable fucks, man, they're taking almost as big of an L on this one as Palestine when they started a fucking war for the bazillionth time and lost. Man, that's crazy. Now, Japan is just absolutely done with foreigners, all right? They have been too tolerant for too long, all right? They don't have this white guilt that they've been, you know, kneaded into their minds when they were in college, and they're like, actually, you make our society worse, and we're just gonna get rid of you now.
Japan is clearly fed up with IRL streamers, as this one was nearly arrested while live.
Oh, it's one of those. It's one of those. I don't mean that in a racist way, but we all know what I mean. All right, I'm just saying. Just saying. It's not in a racist way. Japan got hit with that fatigue debuff, baby.
Was nearly arrested while live streaming himself being obnoxious in Japan.
After day 2, chat. After day 2. Oh.
Hey. Instantly. Nope. No.
Hey, chill. Okay.
I love how disrespectful they all are. It's like, bro, you are in his store. He owns it. It's his place. It's his thing. He tells you what to do. You obey the land. Obey the locals.
Okay, chill.
And then on top of that, he's also gambling and promoting gambling while he's in Japan, which is also illegal. All in the name of money and some internet attention.
Wait, what'd I do, bro? What did I do in addition? Bro, chill, yo, Doc TV clips. I'm in there, my.
The way he so quickly scrolled away. Oh my god.
Miami right now, Dom. I'm in Miami, bro.
And he's not even 20 years old, but he's already being compared to Johnny Somali. So clearly he's on a great path. But before this, I've never heard of him, but he's been making headlines for things like, you know, speeding on stream, being swatted, and being kicked out of Disney, and of course, trespassing.
Someone just swatted us, like Oblivion. It's just a random internet guy. We're just here filming and we're just streaming. Like, we're just enjoying Disney like everyone else. We're not harming no one.
But unfortunately, we've received multiple concerns.
I understand, but I just explained the whole situation.
Not really, though.
Obviously, you are on
you actually didn't explain anything, sir.
property. They have their questions that they want to answer or whatever. If they don't feel like you're being cooperative, at that point they could ask you to leave.
We're going to have to end your day today.
Streaming at 140 miles per hour. Dude, these guys are savages. Actual savages. You know, you turn on the camera, they want attention, they want to look cool, and it's all ego.
You want them trespassed?
Not Lowe's.
All of you leave or you're going to be arrested.
I'm like,
right
not
now.
Lowe's.
I don't believe that.
Okay, you're under arrest.
I don't believe that. All right, my favorite thing is, and this is going to sound pretty bad, it's like these guys are like, man, those police officers, they just arrest black people for anything. Anything I do wrong, police arrest you. There's over-policing going on. Also, the guy, I don't believe you're going to arrest me. It's incredible. It really is. It's insane.
Put your hands behind you.
Bro. I wasn't even doing
Do you have
nothing.
anything you want to stick me, stab me?
I got my bro.
Hey.
Back away.
Oh my.
He's going to jail.
He's not going to jail.
Yes, he is.
He's going to jail. He's not going to jail. Fuck yeah. Fuck yes, he is. Dude, it's unbelievable, man. See, that is why I see a lot of people say, oh, there's over-policing in black neighborhoods. No, I disagree. In fact, I reject the premise. I don't think over-policing is a real thing. Over-policing is not a real thing. It's like how tolerance is a virtue. It's like over-policing is bad. No, there's no such thing as over-policing. They're arresting people. that are committing crimes. So you can get literally as many police as it takes to stop the crimes from happening. I'm a very big law and order guy personally. In fact, it's basically the only thing I want the government to do. I only want the government for law and order. Arrest the criminals, you know, secure our borders, the end, period. Thank you for listening. All right, I don't want them to do anything else. I don't want them to take my taxes. I don't want them giving it to retards that don't want to get a job. I'll be real here. The only thing I want the government for is exactly what's happening here.
And I mean, honestly, it just feels like Kick is this one big factory that just pumps out obnoxious IRL streamers at an increasing rate. And honestly, it seems like they're just imploding their own careers at a similar rate. That's why the obnoxious IRL stream factory just has to keep on pumping out new ones, because they only last for like a year or two. But of course, when your whole content strategy is just
Well, he's just a baby. Why should he get arrested? That cop's a racist.
harassing people in public, things tend to go wrong. And I think it's safe to say that no amount of views is worth being locked up in a foreign prison. I mean, hey, just ask Johnny Somali, who's currently appealing his prison labor sentence in South Korea. But the subject of today's video is Oblivion. Not to be confused with like one of the best games ever made. Honestly, it's still a shame they haven't dropped Elder Scrolls 6, but here we are still waiting. But this kid at not even 20 is already infinitely more successful than Johnny Somali ever was. Unfortunately though, this burden to society is completely unconcerned about how he gets famous and is just following the footsteps of many terrible other IRL.
Maybe his father could teach him sense. Oh, never mind. Oh, never mind. I forgot. Oh, wait. Oh, oops.
Streamers we often talk about here on this channel. And the dude has been attempting to go viral for a long time. He's consistently been tagging Neon in his videos as well. So at least that's a little bit better than Johnny Somali, but the bar is set pretty low. Regardless though, Oblivion started off on TikTok, but it's a little hard to follow his timeline because, believe it or not, I was not following his whole come up. But hey, I guess I'm now forced to study him regardless because he did a little bit of goofing around. And it seems like he posted on TikTok, YouTube, and has been streaming for a good couple of years with 300,000 followers on Kick and over 1 million followers on TikTok. And it's very clear that he just wanted to go viral at all costs, no matter how controversial it was or if he was the butt of his own joke. And things started off in an innocent way by him just making jokes about never being able to kiss a girl and
then it turns out he doesn't have a dad, and everything went downhill from there. That's right, dadlessness takes another victim.
Fun of himself for being inexperienced and nervous around them, but clearly, you know, amping it up for the camera. And then of course he kind of followed Neon's route by doing the whole I'd rather play Fortnite than be with a girl, which, you know, is just bait because at the end of the day, who cares?
You got a winner from a date?
No, I'm not going.
You don't got a date, huh, Christian?
No, I don't.
Take her, bro.
I think I'm gonna play Fortnite, you know. Damn, you're not even gonna ask me, bro?
No. And of course, he also normally features either an IG model or an OF model in his content.
That's how it works. That's how it works. It's all about the hoification of the internet. Absolutely, no doubt. All right, here you get a kid with a dad-shaped hole in his heart trying to replace it with clout and money. You know, going out there, collaborating with prostitutes so that he could promote the prostitution and at the same time having people click on his video. That's the business strat for these fucks.
To drive more attention to it. And while it often changes from stream to stream, no matter who it is, viewers either like the girl and ship them together or hate her and just spew insults at her. And usually it's kind of a mix of both, but again, Oblivion doesn't care because it's all about the clips and clicks. And I guess he made enough noise and put himself out there enough to earn the attention of Aiden Ross and people who orbit him. So they put him on the brand risk event and he ended up fighting in multiple cards. And apparently he's not even a bad boxer, which I guess sort of explains him streaming in Japan with Ryan Garcia and just being friends with him in general. But regardless, Oblivion is becoming a big enough streamer in his own right, but not exactly all for the right reasons. Because while he was on that trip in Japan with Ryan Garcia, Oblivion found himself in some hot water after he was caught filming inside of some shop. And it's no secret that filming people without their consent in Japan is not only a huge social taboo, but it does infringe on
I love how it's just foreigners coming into dude. And the craziest thing is that's why you look at Japanese Twitter and they are the most racist bastards of all time. And it's fucking awesome, actually. I mean, these have been going giga viral. Japanese woman says she doesn't want Pakistani immigrants in Japan because they are inbred, have low IQs, and disproportionately more likely to be rapists. Like, they just say the thing.
番最初に紹介するこのニュースはですね、とんでもないニュースなので、皆さんですね、心して聞いてください。はい、いいです。お願いします。警察は介入できない。
Apparently, the police cannot intervene. And in Hokkaido, people from a country ranked 4th in the world for terrorism, a Pakistani settlement suddenly emerged where Japanese people are being persecuted. A mysterious incident is happening. What's really scary about this is that Pakistan is supposedly a really dangerous country. They are only dangerous people there. Maybe the most dangerous is an over-exaggeration, but as per Pakistan, I'm referencing a post by this guy. According to a survey from the UK's BBC, some people always act for the source. It's the UK's BBC, so listen carefully. 70% of Pakistanis are in consanguineous marriages. In the Arab world, more than half of them, it affects intelligence. In a BBC survey, 55% of Pakistani community in the UK marry cousins? It's like, dude, it's just, they're so fucking based. They're actually just so based. And now, again, it comes from, obviously, pattern recognition. It's a bit odd, don't you think? As soon as Muslims started immigrating to Japan, its Shinto shrines and Buddhist temples started burning down. Just like the churches in Europe. I wonder if there could be any form of overlap. And, you know, I have to say, it's pretty insane. It's like, you'll see these people on like, Japanese people be like, aren't black people just like monkeys? And it's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Do you only get that from, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Their rights to privacy, especially when you're filming inside of a business. And anytime you visit a foreign country, there's going to be different sets of social rules, and sometimes it even extends into laws. And I think it's safe to say that Americans are pretty desensitized to content creators being a nuisance in public places. So when they visit other countries, they might not even consider that yelling insanely loud at chat and live streaming random people might be frowned upon. And here, Oblivion walks into a convenience store after being unable to get into the Chrome Heart store, and almost instantly, the shopkeeper has his hand up, blocking the filming angles, and shoves them out the store.
But no, Chad, Michi streams are gonna happen. What's it called? After day 2, chat. After day 2.
Bro is loud, and dude was not having it.
Oh.
Instantly. Oh my god.
Hey, chill.
I love how just like insufferably obnoxious these people are too.
Chill. Okay, chill.
And apparently he has no problem touching the camera and even grabbing Oblivion and his cameraman and forcibly removing them from the store. I mean, they barely made it 5 feet in, and
dude was there. He was on it. Like, this was the natural reflex. Listen, I am just saying, bro. It's just, it's your survival instincts. They just kick in. You see this fucking retard with a camera, you're like, nope.
Were thrown out, which makes me ask the question, what were they doing in there before? Because if they just showed up like that and he had that kind of reaction, most likely something happened in that store earlier. But regardless, there was definitely a language barrier. Oblivion just kept saying chill. I think he said chill like 120 times here. But apparently the shopkeeper was saying, stop filming and delete the footage. That's apparently what he was saying.
Chill.
Old Japanese man just manhandling these fucking bastards. This trash.
Chill.
Bye. We're leaving. Bye. Okay, bye. Bye. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. Chill.
But I guess it gets even worse for them because the shopkeeper doesn't let them leave. He actually calls the police while
Giga Chad
keeping an eye on them in the area.
Hey, why is he being like that?
Okay, over there. Kev, just film it over there.
Okay, chill. No, my cameraman.
Patriot.
Okay. I know.
We're leaving. Let's go.
No. Nowhere.
Dude, they made it 2 feet in the store.
No. We're leaving. Why is he still pressing up on us? No. You're not gonna touch my cameraman. Chill.
We're here.
Don't touch me. Don't touch I'm not touching you. Let's go, Kev. Leave. Kev. No. What are you doing, bro? What is he doing?
Patriot!
We're not doing nothing wrong. Kev, come. Kev, go. Kev, go. Kev, bro. Like, what is he doing, bro?
Bye.
No.
Yes, bye.
Bye. No. Yeah. Oh, eat shit, fuckers.
Oh. Hey, what is he on?
He's trying to hit the camera. Tell him in Japanese to leave us alone.
And the whole time he was acting shocked at why he could be annoyed with them. And to be fair, Oblivion wasn't, he wasn't really doing anything wrong here. He wasn't acting obnoxious like Johnny Somali. He was just naturally loud and kind of annoying and is visiting a place where both of those.
And dude's pattern recognition spider sense kicked in. He was like, you are getting out of my fucking store and I will deport you, Ash. Your ass will be deported immediately. You are going to go. You are here illegally, and we will deport your ass.
Things, I guess, are taboo. But they did still continue filming the guy after he repeatedly asked them to stop because the cameraman, I guess, is too dense to realize that he was filming Oblivion in
We will kick your ass back to America.
an altercation. He's also filming the guy. So, yeah, I don't think they put 2 and 2 together. Or who knows, maybe they just wanted the content. Regardless, though, the police arrive and I guess tell him that he has to delete the clip, and they ask if they can confirm that it's not saved in the camera. And this is kind of crazy because it's live and it really shows the barrier of what the police understand of, like, you know, filming versus live streaming, because of course it's not saved on the device. They're just kind of live streaming off of a camera.
He's saying, can you see your like photo folder just to show that you didn't, it's not saved.
Here?
Yeah.
Here. Today.
today.
その保存はされてないんですよね。
まあ一応確認のため。はいはい。
Yeah, I didn't save it.
today こんだけの。
Yeah. No save.
And then not to mention, they're also actively streaming this police interaction because, again, it's content. And he didn't even delete the VOD of this. It's still up on his Kick channel as of right now. So I don't know why they would live stream themselves lying to police.
You don't know why these people would be a public nuisance and not give a shit about the culture that they're going to? You don't know why that would... Look at fucking Chicago, okay? And you'll figure out why.
Police, and then keep the evidence of them lying to police up on their channel. But of course, Oblivion here, he pleaded ignorance.
He was oblivious to the fact that he was being an asshole.
Or oblivious, and his fans pointed fingers at the shopkeeper, saying that he was the one who overreacted. Now, there is a very obvious no filming sign that they just waltzed right past, but still.
But nah, chat, Michi streams...
No, I disagree. I disagree. You enforce the shit out of laws. All right, listen. When I hear about lenience for criminals, and it's like, you know, for like a guy that's part of your culture and society, whatever. But foreigners need to get maximum punishments on literally fucking everything. You're going on another country to start shit? No, sir.
Are gonna happen? What's it called?
I think this just shows that Japan is starting to get sick and tired of the IRL streamers. Now, did Oblivion do...
Atozy, you are coping. They are getting tired of foreigner retards. That's what they're tired of. That's the fatigue. IRL streamers is a speck in the pond.
Anything crazy over the top here? Not really. The dude was just being obnoxious and loud. And then, of course, he kept filming the shopkeeper, but, you know, I guess there was some sort of language barrier here as well. And obviously, when these no filming signs are there, that probably means that this isn't the first time this happened, which could be why the shopkeeper reacted so strongly to this. So maybe Oblivion has...
No, I disagree. I'm really glad bro fucking bum rushed those bastards. That was awesome.
Even been in there before, but it's safe to say the shopkeeper's sick and tired of this. I mean, especially with the whole Chrome Heart store being right there, I think a whole bunch of wannabe influencers are probably ending up around that shop filming. But again, from my understanding, filming in public is just frowned upon. It's not technically illegal in Japan. But obviously, this clip made the rounds with a whole bunch of people calling him the new Johnny Smalley and warning him that the consequences would definitely follow if he wasn't careful here, because clearly things didn't go well for Johnny. You don't want to model your life after Johnny. That's for sure. And now he's back to his regular content, which means I guess he sets up dates with one of his many girls and films himself gambling on stake and IRL. Despite
dadless behavior,
people hating him for his behavior, he currently seems to have gotten away with it, and I guess is doing his best to avoid having something like that happen in the future again.
Oh, is it okay if we record?
Yes, but just like in the corner.
How to say, is it okay to record in Japanese?
That being said, he is still filming in public, and his own community has brought up another interesting point while he continues his trip in Japan. And that is that gambling in most forms is just illegal in Japan, and that includes spinning slots on stake or whatever he's doing. And someone in Oblivion's own Discord posted a screenshot warning him to not gamble when he's live the next day. And this is obviously because of the legalities.
Bro, you already ruined my day. Wait, what did I do, bro? What did I do in addition? Bro, I'm in there.
I love how it takes him like 5 minutes to read that fucking sentence. He's in addition. Yeah.
Miami right now, I'm in Miami, bro.
And even if he has a stake deal, which, you know, he has a code, so I'm assuming he does, they would probably understand him having to take a short break. But that being said, he probably required to stream like an hour a day or something like that. So I guess instead he told his chat to just shut up, and he was saying that he was in Miami. Clearly, that's just a bulletproof legal argument right there. And it doesn't really help him that he went live later on in Japan. like the same day.
Yeah.
So, I guess this guy has unlocked teleportation. But regardless, if he already has people keeping tabs on him, why is he breaking the law while live streaming it? Because that's just how you end up in more hot water. But
let's go. Punish his ass. That's right. Look, I'm really tired. I have the fatigue. I know they have fatigue. We all have fatigue together. And let's actually punish people that break laws. Actually, I think that's great.
now, though, it seems like he's just back to doing IRL content and trying to become the new Neon. If anything happens with him before he makes it home to California, we'll probably give you guys an update. But other than that, if you're new here, feel free to subscribe.
Yeah, that was wild. I don't know, man. I just love the fact that Japan is just so based and fucking tired of this shit. Bro walks in 2 steps. Dude pops out of fucking nowhere. Sensed it immediately. Hand in the camera. No, sir, not in here. Dumps his ass on the sidewalk. That's how it's done. And I saw so many people being like, oh, you overreacted, nothing yet. Nope. Nope. Zero tolerance. Tolerance is not a virtue. Intolerance is a virtue. Now, there's a lot of talk in Japan in regards to being intolerant, mostly to liberal white women and people of different ethnic backgrounds. And for very obvious reason. All right, this is a liberal white woman in Japan talking about how she's directly trying to influence and change Japanese culture and way of life. All right, I was told this video is incredible by Think Before You Sleep. He was like talking to me as he was making it, so I'm very excited to see what it's all about because this is insane.
One thing that I noticed after living in Tokyo for a few months now, I've definitely gotten way more self-conscious.
Oh god, here we go.
Like, I lived in the States, right? Going to grocery stores and like whatever, like I can wear like the bummiest fit and I wouldn't.
Yes, actually in Japan, it's an honorable society and you shouldn't go outside dressed in shit and pajamas. Yeah, that's right, actually. And it was like that in America, too, before we were taken over by the third worldification of society.
Care, right?
Honestly, I don't know how everyone's going to take this, but I really hate it when people go out in public dressed like they just got out of bed or like they're homeless. I'm not old enough to remember when people used to wear suits on planes. However, I am old enough to remember when going to the store in your pajamas was highly frowned upon. But now it's just normal, and I think what comes along with not taking pride...
I love how she, like, takes it on herself. She's like, I'm so self-conscious that when I do something that clearly is taboo in Japan, people look at me funny. I don't know, bitch. If you don't like it, leave. I'm so self-conscious. Don't be self-conscious. Just dress like a human.
And how you present yourself is worse overall behavior.
Yeah.
But now, like, even if I go to a konbini, I feel like I need to be wearing, like, a decent fit. And that's something that, like, would have never happened if I was still in the States. And it's probably because everyone always looks so good.
Right. You should feel bad about looking like a slob every day in public. And in other videos, when I say that we should be borrowing the good parts from certain cultures, this is what I mean. Encouraging pro-social behaviors is more of what this country needs, because it just seems like these days, a vast portion of the people who are big on social media model tons of behavior that will make people hate you.
I told you you're hot before, but might have been the dark lighting.
What?
Might have been the dark lighting.
Oh.
This guy, Clavicular, quite possibly has the worst social skills out of any popular influencer. Don't worry, she got him back, though.
I thought you'd be taller in person. What? I thought you'd be taller in person.
He's going to cry about that the minute he gets home.
Oh, bro, he's going to be crying himself to sleep that night.
Instead of being famous for being a degenerate, there's a real societal cost to lots of people not having social skills, as well as exhibiting antisocial behavior or having a series of behaviors that actively piss people off. And the cost is that these things seem to be a large contributor to political radicalism on both sides. And this lack of social skills can really lead to the promotion of some horrendous policies, more so because the ones in favor of them are depressed people with endless free time who like to engage in activism as some sort of outlet to make themselves feel good.
That's right. And nothing more dangerous in society than an unemployed woman fighting for women's rights to abort their children. That's right. It's honestly, it's a threat to society.
Because they're fighting for some moral cause that actually helps people. Which brings us to our main character, Evie.
Oh, here she is.
You might
there she is. I knew that this was going to be about her.
Recognize her from that one video that I did a little while back as the girl who uses a massive amount of AI in all of her videos to edit her face to look like a doll, which is very visually disturbing. But in this video, she's going to talk about racism in a way that I think is very politically radical. And what I would like to do is talk about all the antisocial behaviors that led her to those beliefs that most people don't agree with. But before that, recently a jury ordered Meta and
a lot of people aren't willing to discuss the fact that, no, actually, you should not be going to other cultures and trying to change them. Just like we should not be importing other cultures that want to change ours. The only time, for the record, I actually support going to other countries and trying to change their culture is via conquest. But I don't think that's how these retards are referring to it.
This video, I wanted to discuss a more serious topic, and we're going to be talking about racism in the cosplay community. I do want to put some content warnings for this video because it...
Content warning, we're going to be discussing racism. Dude, these people are fucking pathetic.
has quite a few topics that will be triggering for a lot of people, obviously including racism.
I'm really glad she put on elf ears on. It helps her alien cosplay, whatever the fuck is going on over here.
Discrimination. We're also going to be talking about a lot of kind of quite scary right-wing beliefs. So if any of those topics sound like they are too upsetting for you to hear,
Scary right-wing beliefs.
yeah, please take care of yourself.
Close your ears.
And your mental health first, and I will see you in the next video.
See what I mean by lacking in social skills? One of the trigger warnings was, I'm going to talk about ideas you don't agree with. I like how she starts off political content that's intended for adults by saying, hey, if you're too emotionally weak to listen to an already biased version of this story that's designed to make you feel like a good person, then feel free to skip this video.
Something that really shocked me is that a lot of fans of
Not as shocked as Kaya.
anime Freren are
Bro!
adamantly right-wing.
Bro, she called it Freren. It's Freerin. And yes, of course, fans of Freerin are right-wing, because Freerin promotes good ideals. And good ideals are right-wing ideals. Left-wing ideals are inherently satanic and evil.
And you might just think, oh, that's a coincidence.
Oh, no.
No, it's not a coincidence.
Well, people who like the same cartoon as you have different political beliefs. How terrible.
I was wondering why that is the case.
Yeah, it's because they think right-wing people should die. That's why it's terrible, because they think that everyone should be accepted for exactly who you are, unless you have this set of ideals, in which case we should literally murder you. All right, that is leftist ideology, and a lot of people aren't willing to. Oh, I accept you if you're straight. I accept you if you're gay. I accept it if you're Muslim. I accept you if you're anything. But if you voted for Trump, you should die.
I came across the account of one of the most shocking racist women that I have ever seen on the internet. But I saw her cosplay of a character called Freren, where she cosplayed Freren as
This is painful. Holy LARP.
An ICE officer.
Based.
Her description in her account reads, wife, pro-white, reject the global, revere the local.
Yeah, what's wrong
now,
with that?
already from this bio, you can kind of tell what type of person this is.
Yes, I can.
And anyone who says pro-white, I'm already going to assume some quite concerning things.
Why? When a black person says they're pro-black, you're like, oh, you're so real for that. But when a white person is pro-white, it's concerning. Many such cases. They actually just want you to die. Leftist policy wants you to die.
Why? Why would that be concerning? You have black empowerment, Mexican pride, India #1. Why is it suddenly a problem when a white person expresses interest in their own race and culture? Especially considering that this
because they want you to die.
Is likely a reaction to the mountains of anti-white propaganda that's been going on for the past 15 years or so. This screenshot was kindly provided by the Twitter user
15 years? 15 years? There's been anti-white propaganda since 1945.
That Evie is criticizing. If you start telling people that they have to choose between protecting their own children and being called a Nazi, you're not going to like the outcome. Sounds based to me. And speaking of kids, radical leftists love throwing anti-white propaganda at children to make them feel bad for being born white.
Yeah.
They make books about it. They make news documentaries on it.
Yeah.
They also love diversity.
Yeah, it's because they like grooming. It's because they're groomers, actually. It's because the left is just a giant party of groomers. Because they don't have children. They tell women not to get married. They tell them to only get careers, not to be with no man. Everyone should be gay and fucking transgender and castrate yourself and abort your children. They don't breed through normal means. They breed vampirically through grooming.
Photos where they say, hey, it would be really great if less white people were at this job or in this college. Or someone like this next person will say, there are too many white people in the room, and I don't like that.
Sorry to the Asian community, but I am anti-Asian meetup. The only mixed-race Asian representation that exists on this scale is Asian representation. Generally, I'm just not a
septum piercing detected. Opinion rejected.
Fan of whiteness being centered around the conversation for mixed-race people.
There are just...
I love how, once again, the septum piercing, it's just, it goes off. You know, every once in a while, people go, "Beep, beep, beep, I sense people having fun." I sense people enjoying life. Must reprogram, must watch Stephen Colbert.
Too many white Asians. So we all agree that this black girl is a racist, right? I mean, I think Evie is using so much time learning how to edit her face with AI tools that she has missed all the incredible amounts of racism that is thrown at white people on a regular basis.
Get my face on the camera. We kill crackers. Where I come from, we kill them.
Meanwhile, their example of whites being racist is us saying, hey, could you stop committing crimes and trying to propaganda?
No, actually, the reason why everyone's supporting Carmelo Anthony is because they really want to legalize murdering white people.
Our children to hate themselves.
A lot of people don't like me for being realistic and expressing things in the way that they actually are, but I'm going to continue doing my best.
But to give a little background on this story from Evie, the primary focus is centered on a Twitter personality and cosplayer who goes by Mac, and her cosplay of the main character from Freerun as an ICE agent. For those of you who haven't seen the show, it's about a female elf who's lived for 1,000 years. I'm not going to give a summary of the entire plot, but just so you know what part they're referring to, Freerun in the show is known for stopping the most powerful demon and bringing peace to the world.
True.
The main story of Freerun is something else, but on episode 7 of season 1, There's a subplot where we see a resurgence of some demons years after
Episodes 7, 8, and 9 of Freerun is possibly some of the best anime I've ever seen, by the way.
the strongest one was defeated. In this arc, demons are trying to get the town leader to remove a protective barrier so the foreigner demons can freely enter whenever they want, if that doesn't sound like a metaphor for something. And Freerun, an elf who has prior experience with their kind, gets put in jail for warning the town leadership to not trust demons.
That's right.
While she's in prison,
they arrested her for racism when she was trying to stop foreigners from invading the country. Yeah.
Says these lines that have been memed like crazy.
Demons use words to trick humans. You can't trust a thing they say. They're monsters who learn to speak.
That's
monsters
right.
who found they could lure in humans by crying, "Help me."
Yeah.
So obviously this is like a metaphor and an important
Demons, monsters who realized they could just lure in humans by saying, "You're racist."
life lesson, warning against dishonest people. And demons from the show are the stand-in that the writers are trying to use to teach that lesson to the audience.
Yep.
A part of the appeal of the show is that Freerun does not have empathy for those who want to use emotional manipulation to take advantage of her.
Another thing that a lot of people don't know about, and I actually explained this to Think Before You Sleep before he published this video, but like after he already finished editing it, is actually the way the Freerun discourse evolved was it didn't start this way.
Or destroy her.
Why would you call out to a mother you've never known?
It's simple. That word stops humans. Isn't that magical?
That being said, Evie's video centers around this particular subplot.
You just call them racist. Isn't that magical? And then they don't even mind if you rape 250,000 British women. All you do is you call them Islamophobic, and it completely stops them. Isn't it magical, guys? Isn't it magical? It's so magical. It's literally so magical. Man, it's so cool. It's OP. Lying is just OP, actually. We could just do that. We use words, we manipulate you, and then we fucking rape your culture. This is a lot of people don't know is actually how this entire Freerun situation started. All right, the Freerun situation started in the opposite direction. Okay, you have to get it. The reason why people started cosplaying as ice agents and Freerun wasn't just because, hate the foreigner. Because demons are literally a different species in Freerun. And they literally hated this literal evil species. And it's based, actually. It's not like a different culture that's, still human beings, made in the image of God. But, obviously they're not compatible with ours. It's literally a different culture. Now, killing demons is awesome, actually, in Freerun. The reason why this discourse got big is because libtards, okay, understand how this works. Libtards found empathy in the demons in Freerun. It's because libtards started saying Freerun is actually a bad guy. So, like, you've had the people like this guy. He made, like, this whole gigantic video essay, The Moral Dilemma That Broke Freerun. All right, like, the moral dilemma that broke Freerun.
Don't understand the concept of families, and it replies, because it stops you from killing me. And again, this is a reveal for the audience. It's just laying it on thick that demons lie and kill, and that's it. But importantly, it shows they lie out of self-preservation. In fact, that's the most common way we see.
We need to have empathy for the demons. They're just lying to stay alive. Not true. They're literally lying because they are another species that is coming to your land to rape and pillage you. It's like the foreigner that lies and uses words to manipulate you. No, you're going to separate me from my family by deporting me? Yes. So the reason why this was co-opted by right-wing spaces is because left-wing retards decided to actually empathize with the fucking demons. That's how this discourse actually started, by the way.
Of Freerun, because people have been using metaphors of that arc of the show to talk about immigration.
That's right. So now everyone's doing this because if you see the demons as, oh, poor victim, asylum seeker, foreigners trying to survive, to the point that people are making hour-long video essays having empathy for the demons, I'm sorry, actually, we're going to make fun of you a lot.
And ice. So
actually, maybe you are demons. Actually, if you empathize with the demons that thoroughly, maybe you are demons, actually.
Background to all of this. Also, for fans of the show, yes, she's going to pronounce Freerun incorrectly the entire time.
Yeah. And I did originally make like a video stitching her cosplay, showing my Freerun cosplay as an actual fan of the series. And I want to talk about why this is such
I'm an actual fan of the series. I mispronounce the main character's name every time.
Mischaracterization of the character and in general of anime.
It's a mischaracterization? It's fucking cosplay. What are we doing?
Anime is very clear that Freerun is very angry about demons. And you can see from this person's post, she refers to people who are being deported as demons.
Well, some of them are.
I like how she calls herself a real fan of the show, but can't pronounce the name correctly.
Trope.
And right, Mac is the fake fan because she has a different opinion than you. Actually, never mind. That kind of logic is pretty common in the anime community. However, I don't think the metaphor is misapplied at all when talking about illegal immigration in America, considering how many people relentlessly violate immigration laws in the US, followed by fake crying and saying, I'm so sad, please help me.
Demons manipulate you with words, magical words, that make you help them.
When they are rightfully deported.
Kaylee says she first came to the U.S. 12 years ago, fleeing her home country of Honduras. Now she juggles 3 different cleaning and
Not my problem, actually, by the way. Yeah, I know Honduras sucks. It's really not my issue.
Jobs here in North Carolina while raising a family of 4. After being detained by ICE in February, Kaylee says she was allowed to stay until her next hearing.
Can you imagine a result where you had to return to Honduras and leave your kids behind?
No, no me lo puedo imaginar.
No shot she answers in Spanish. She was here for 12 years, and she answers in Spanish.
Can't imagine it.
She's like, feel sad for me, but also I'm going to orphan my kids instead of taking them with me if I get deported.
That's right.
What in the hell?
Demons are monsters, and like all monsters, they don't raise their young. Once born, you are abandoned.
She lives here for 12 years.
That is crazy.
Gets free schooling for her kids, doesn't pay into the system, doesn't speak English, and is basically stealing resources from hardworking Americans. I mean, basically, this is a soft form of slavery.
Yeah.
And when Americans who don't want to work for someone else without financial reimbursement say, hey, stealing is wrong, slavery is wrong, stop doing that, we're the bad people. Do you see why Twitter users are memeing this moment in Freerun now? But staying on topic when it comes to antisocial behavior,
I think slavery is actually more moral than illegal immigration, but that's a discussion for another day.
Things that's very consistent with political radicals like this entitled British girl is an extreme lack of empathy, and you can tell that this is present because her standard is that racism is bad, while she ignores all the incredible amounts of anti-white racism that's occurred very overtly over the past decade and a half.
So I put this up because I really want any white person in the room to know up front that this is what we're dealing with. You're always going to be racist, actually. I believe that white people are born into not being.
That's how it works, by the way. You appreciate their culture, that's cultural appropriation, that's racist. If you don't appreciate their culture, well, that's actually excluding people, and that's racist, actually. I don't know if you're aware, but that's just how it works. You see race, you're a racist. You're seeing race. You don't see race, oh, you're racist because they are oppressed.
Human, and that's what y'all are taught to do, to be demons. So in this particular way, white people are all racist.
I mean, there are just...
Yeah, we should remove this person from America. At least remove her voting rights.
Tons of abhorrently racist videos like this from black people on the internet. Not to mention the people who openly support Carmelo Anthony or DeCarlos Brown for stabbing white people.
Yeah, it's almost like they actually just want white people to die or something.
Now, what empathy from Evie in this situation would look like is her saying something like, I get why Mac would feel that way towards foreigners because of things like anti-white racism, but I still believe she's out of line here when she calls people demons. Ultimately, I may not end up agreeing with Evie, but these are the kinds of words that I would be expecting to hear from a person who's empathetic. Instead, what we actually got...
How dare you say Michelle Obama has a penis? Anyway, every single right-winger should die because they're all Nazis. That's basically what we're dealing with. That's what I don't support those ideals. I was creating a straw man, by the way. I don't support any of that, YouTube.
Was this?
And as we all know, X is used by right-wing grifters. That is the majority of the popular people on X are people who are talking about
everyone I don't like is a grifter.
Racist and horrible things.
Some racist things are actually very real.
Because that is the type of environment that Elon has facilitated. And it is where these people can go because they get banned off Instagram. They get
leave.
Banned off TikTok.
So go away.
Sometimes even get banned off of YouTube because their content is harmful.
No, Twitter has always been racist. The only thing Elon did was allow that kind of speech for everyone instead of just people who are against whites. But Evie doesn't catch stuff like this because she's not someone who can actually understand other people's feelings or perspectives.
No, it's because she actually doesn't care about whites. It's because she was actually mind-fucked and mind-raped into believing that actually killing white people is based. All right, that's why. All right, it's not that she didn't notice, it's that she supports it.
So this is not an empathetic person. This is a person who is just using the misfortune of others as a tool to beat people over the head with. Actually, I do care about the illegal Mexicans, and therefore I'm a better person than you. This is pretend empathy.
How could we deport the Mexicans? Who will deliver my Uber Eats?
If these people actually cared about black people, then they would understand that criticizing the per capita crime rates benefits black people the most because they're the ones who actually have to live around all the 13%.
They would rather black people die than be called a racist. Yeah, it's true.
And if people like Evie actually cared about Mexicans and weren't just using...
Yeah, reality is... embracing reality is worse than black people literally dying.
...them as a political tool, then they would understand that the correct answer is to maintain border security in America so that illegals can't be used to help elect evil politicians who then go and terrorize the rest of the world with pathological foreign policy designed to keep dictators in power in poor countries so that those countries never get better. Mass immigration to the U.S. is one of the primary ways that politicians who screw over the rest of the world keep getting voted in.
It is so upsetting to see as a human being. Anyone I think would be upset to see someone cosplay a ICE police officer.
Literally cry about it? Oh no, you saw a tweet you didn't like. Oh no, maybe you should kill yourself to avoid this. Like, seriously, are we being serious? Like, I don't actually suggest that as a suggestion, okay, YouTube? I don't actually want that. I'm just hyperbolically stating that you could just not look at the tweet.
but with a Freren wig. It is very, very bizarre to me that someone would misinterpret a character who is trying to save humans.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do, and we're doing that by trying to exclude the abusers from our system.
Oh my god, you mean she wasn't a literal 1,000-year-old elf witch? That's crazy. What a misinterpretation of the character.
But people like you keep getting in the way. In fact, some of you move to entirely different countries just to help stifle their progress. So let me reiterate this for like the 20th time on my channel, that in America, both the left and the right hate open borders. This is a policy that most people in America have hated for decades. But Evie's not concerned with that. She's more concerned about the words that we use to describe foreigners.
And the way that they refer to these people just shows so much of this harmful rhetoric, calling them illegal aliens, which is such a nasty term.
Alien.
Bitch, you literally look like an alien.
Literally means foreigner. They are alien to our nation. And the reason why the legal language calls them illegal aliens is because they are foreigners who are violating federal law to reside.
It's literally a correct term.
In America.
What
but now that we've talked about her ideas, I think this next section is more.
I don't like words that are real. I don't like it.
Are telling of the problems in socialization that led her to believe this stuff.
Of course, she talks about being anti-immigration, and one of her posts reads, "Mass immigration is looting and invasion, and that's all it has ever been for our nation specifically." When you press pro-immigration supporters and said invaders on this, they will tell you it's fine and openly tell you it's revenge. Well, I would never say it's revenge to loot or invade someone, but what I would say is that people do have rights to live in a different country when they
you don't. What the fuck?
We're not born with the privilege of coming from a high economic.
I have the right to sleep on your sofa. What do you mean? Whoa, what do you mean? I don't have the right to live in your basement. Huh? What do you mean? I don't have the right to cook in your kitchen. Huh?
Economically developed country, or they just want to move to a different country.
That's not the right, actually. I'm sorry. What, are you insane? Dude!
It's not that deep.
No, you can't. This is a part of the new radical leftist groupthink narrative where they're all saying now, why can't I live where I want to live?
Oh, everywhere has immigration laws. You can't just move wherever you want and just live there in any country. But what if I think that's also bad and stupid and wrong and dumb? What would be the worst thing that would happen if everyone just lived where they wanted to live?
You would get carnally raped by third worlders.
Stupid.
That's what would happen.
Go. Let people.
You would become a sex slave immediately, because ultimately force is dominated by males, and they would immediately dominate you and put you in a cage. I personally am against that, which is why I'm fighting to protect you, even though you don't want to protect yourself.
Live where they want to live.
No, not if you suck as a person. I don't want you coming into my country if you suck. Like, if you're a rapist, I don't want you here. Going back to Evie, you would think that her being from England would make her more conscious of stuff like that. I don't want to live around bad people. I don't want to live around people who believe in child sacrifice or child marriage. I don't want to live around terrorists. I don't want to live around sex traffickers. We already have enough bad people here in America. We don't need more of them. The whole idea of why can't people just live where they want to live is incredibly naive when it comes to actual human behavior.
Obviously.
One thing that Evie doesn't consider in her video at all.
It's like it sounds nice and fluffy, but it's actually demonic. So yes. Yeah, I do think you guys are maybe not demons specifically, but you're definitely worshiping them.
Is that a ton of the people coming into America illegally are actively hostile to Americans. They actively hate us. They burn our flag, and they're here to use the flaws in our legal system to impose their values on us against our will.
We don't want to assimilate. We don't want to be like you. You people are so fucking sick, honestly. Assimilate or you're not American. Who are you?
That being said, what kind of person would want to permit someone who hates them to live anywhere near their vicinity? Well, I had some initial thoughts about that when I first watched this part of her video, and through another piece of her content, my initial thoughts were completely confirmed. In her very next video, Evie talks about what her experience was like growing up. For context, this video is about her growing up as a lesbian.
I was being severely bullied at that time from the ages of like
cases. Wow.
11 to 13 by a friend of mine who basically it was like an abusive friendship that I was going through. So I had really low self-confidence and my self-esteem was really low. So I basically was like, even if I am gay, I don't think I could even like pull a girl, you know what I mean? I remember one of the things that she told me, this like horrible girl that I was friends with, she would say like, oh, no one will ever love you. And I think that she definitely caught on that I had a crush on this one girl like later on. And she would like say things that would like be like, oh, of course this girl wouldn't like you because you're so ugly and you're so this and that. I just agreed with her. I was like, yeah, there's no way.
I do want to take a second to say that
that's what she calls abuse? That a girl in her school when she was 11 called her ugly?
She was a child during all this, so I can empathize with how awful it must have been to have a friend like that around 11 years old. Really, one of the worst things that can happen to you as a child is being told very early on that you're useless, worth nothing, and no one will like you. If you poison a kid with information like that, it will have a pretty drastically negative effect on them by the time they become adults.
Yes, I do still have some kind of like traumas from this. And I think the other thing was that like, I always thought, you know, I was always the weirdo. I was always the outsider. So I always felt that way. I still have a lot of self-image and self-confidence problems.
Yeah. And so what happened as a result of that is that people didn't like her and she had to put up with an abusive friend because she was desperate to have the attention and company of literally anyone. And I do want to take a second to emphasize that none of this stuff goes away when you become an adult. Adults treat people like shit too. They just tend to be more sophisticated about it than kids. You'll never stop bullying, particularly in the context that she was talking about in the video, because you can't force people to like you. However, the simple answer to not get bullied and not get stuck with shitty friends is to learn how to be desirable. People are calling you weird because you're missing social cues and acting inappropriately in certain situations. So learn how to limit the behaviors that people don't like and only do certain things around the appropriate people. So taking her past into account, what type of person would criticize America from a different country and say we have to let in an infinite number of people who hate us and don't share our values? Who tries to get along with people who hate them? Oh, right. It's all the kids who have trouble making friends who do that because they don't have any other choices. Like the kid in high school who tries to hang out with the popular crowd, not realizing that he's only in the group so they can bully him. So when I say I'm a heavy advocate of self-improvement, a part of the reason is so that young people don't end up with toxic friendships because they're so undesirable that no one wants to be around them. You can turn yourself into someone people want to talk to if you do the work. And also, from a long-term perspective, I don't want these types turning into adults who then take out their past childhood experiences on everyone else. Particularly for the sake of this video when it comes to the stupid political ideology of how you have to accept everyone who says they want to be in your group.
Of course, immigration does benefit us. You know, so many important jobs in Japan and the UK and in America are taken up by immigrants. And for example, in Japan, because the same rhetoric is happening in Japan, I know, for example, in convenience stores, a lot
of no, the rhetoric in Japan! Literally, you are fucking cancer. This is crazy. Goes to Japan, lectures Japan and how they need to be more inclusive to rapists.
These jobs are taken up by immigrants and also in nursing homes. Now, this also means that obviously these are jobs that are essential workers. They're really
What? Working at a convenience store is an essential worker?
Important, but a lot of Japanese people just can't do these jobs because they are very physically demanding.
Oh, the poor Japanese people, they're so weak and pathetic that they can't operate a cash register at a grocery store. They need to bring in strong Indians. Are you serious?
And there's an aging population. So I do truly think that immigration does help in so many different ways.
Did she just say that working at 7-Eleven is an essential job? I mean, that was an example that she gave. Yeah. I imagine that she's bringing up Japanese convenience stores because she's a foreigner living in Japan. Her video is very Japan-focused. And so the reason that convenience stores are the issue is because that is where you will very visibly see foreigners from India. Just like America. And to that, I say no, it is not essential to mass import people so that 7-Eleven can have 50 stores in Japan all within a mile of each other that stay open for 24 hours a day. Late hours is why they're hiring Indians. You'll see Japanese people working the normal hours, but they probably don't want to work night shift hours for terrible pay, but the Indians will, so they import Indians, which is bad for the labor market. Stuff like this suppresses wages, which means people have to work more hours, which means they don't have time for families, and thus you get a shit economy with lots of old people.
Whatever, obviously you have upsides, you have downsides, etc., yada yada. Point is, it also fundamentally changes the culture. It changes the culture, and it makes life worse for a lot of people.
This is not a solution.
So how dare you, retard from England, get involved in this shit and talk about how it's cancerous and I want to import, you know, mass on mass, just basically slave labor.
For low birth rates.
I think everyone deserves to move to the country that they want to be.
What the fuck is this deserves shit? Like, these are the most entitled people on the planet. Never faced an actual issue in their entire life. They're going to sit here and virtue signal on their high horse. Listen, this British YouTuber living in Japan is going to explain why Palestine needs to exist or some shit. I don't care.
And I think that is just generally a human thing. But
it's totally a human thing to be able to live in whoever's house you want, in whatever society you want.
So do think it's important to know that you don't necessarily have to be doing an extremely difficult job just to immigrate to a different country.
Oh, you shouldn't even need to get a job in the other country. Just go there, be on welfare. They'll support you.
Yes, you do. Immigration is a privilege, not a right. Unless, of course, you want to contest the ownership of a territory in combat. But maybe the skill requirements of a job is beside the point because these essential workers can't even do the basics of easy jobs as well as Japanese people can, or Americans when it comes to America, because the vast majority of immigrants to any country don't learn the language past beginner level, and it's annoying to have to deal with that, especially in large quantities. For example, when I was going to the airport to leave Japan, I had some issue with my train ticket, but don't worry, because the station had a highly qualified Indian on staff to help you with your problems, and he even speaks English. Guess what? He didn't speak English. So I switched to Japanese to explain what I wanted, and guess what? He didn't speak Japanese either.
No! That's miserable.
I ended up just ignoring him and figuring out the problem myself. And moreover, what I was getting at with the whole bullying thing with Evie from her past is that not building the skills to overcome bullying often develops into this ideology when you become an adult of, we just have to absolutely accept and tolerate everything because I wasn't accepted once, and if people don't accept everything, I might not be accepted as an adult. Please accept me so I don't have to learn how to be likable. Really, it's a selfish impulse from people with unresolved issues from childhood that they aren't genuinely looking to put any effort into fixing. So they want people to just put up with them as they are. And I know it's them being selfish because the people of endless tolerance want you to accept every aspect of their character and the things that they do, but if you do or say something that they don't like, then they aren't going to accept you, and they're going
not going to accept you. They want you dead. All right, you don't understand the boundaries of tolerance for these people.
tell you that you aren't good enough.
I noticed that a lot of the themes that these ultra right-wing cosplayers tend to portray in their social medias are the exact same themes that are posted about on boards like 4chan, such as being violently anti-foreigners, being quote-unquote pro-white, talking about how they think that feminism has ruined society, and also talking about Japan as if it is this perfect, idealistic place, despite only having been tourists in Japan, having never lived there, sometimes never having even been there.
I love the constant elitism from this girl. I'm the only true fan of Freyren, and I'm more Japanese than all of you other people who want to be Japanese.
Which is why I'm going to Japan, to convince them to change their culture for me.
Down, lady. I know you're one of the high-tier foreigners because you've been living in Japan for like 3 years, but let's be real. You don't speak Japanese to any significant extent, which is why you spend this whole interview here saying that you're an activist for Japan, yet all of your videos are in English. In fact, in a prior video, a friend and I caught you making subtitles that were so awkward that they were almost certainly written by AI. So she just pretends to speak Japanese fluently to make it look like she's in a position of authority on Japanese culture. Not that this is an unusual thing for social media influencers to do, by the way.
I'm going to order flawlessly. Samurai Mac 一つお願いします。
はい、ダブル肉厚ビーフが卵ベーコンございます。
醤油、サムライマックお願いします。
サムライマックが2種類ございます。
14 years of living in Japan.
Bro, 14 years in Japan. You can't fucking order food! Are you serious? Oh my god, these LARPing retards.
And he can't even order a hamburger without stumbling and screwing up on a basic would you like this or that question. His friend had to explain it to him. Maybe that's beside the point though, because the purpose of this video was to trick fans into watching a 30-minute commercial for Nissan. But neither of these two are experts on Japan. They are long-term tourists who refuse to integrate with the culture, which, dare I say, is incredibly anti-social behavior and really just means they're a burden on that society. Especially considering that they are both
I mean, duh, right? Isn't that obvious?
Activists for open borders, and they are actively trying to change the politics of the country that they're a burden on.
That's what they do.
Hey, look, it's a pride parade in Tokyo, Japan, and it's full of white foreigners.
Yep.
Weird.
Where you from? Iceland. Iceland. Yeah.
Do you fucking know? You know that these retards are being paid good ass money from some billionaire George Soros looking ass to go to Japan and do this shit.
In Japan?
Yes, I live in Japan.
So you're living here in Japan for how long?
Only since January.
Like, what made you bring here in Japan?
My work.
But we work. But like, in Japan, it's like, LGBTQ is not really progressed in Japan.
No, but hopefully we will change that.
Oh, hopefully we will change that, will we? Fucking retards.
Yeah, great. I'm sure that's really going to help with the birthing crisis there. But what these types love saying is, look at all the
dude, they're like, actually, we have to spread the word of Satan to every inch of the globe.
Economic benefits mass immigration provides.
We stand with Gaza. I told you, bro. I don't believe in borders. Also, we have to kill all the Jews in Israel. Like, bro. It's incredible.
One, economic benefits to who? GDP is not an indicator of the standard of living of the average citizen. Two, they always ignore the vast amount of cultural and social damage that comes as a result of bringing in millions of people into a country who did not grow up with the same value system, and not only do not speak your language, but refuse to learn it in the vast majority of cases. And because the economy is downstream of a country's cultural values, all of this in the long term will actually damage the economy and get rid of any short-term benefits mass immigration may
obviously, duh. A country is its people. It's not magic soil.
Have had. Everything is just money to these people because they don't have the social skills or pro-social behaviors to understand how much it changes your environment when you import millions of people into your country who don't speak your language.
I truly do believe that understanding the language and understanding the culture are symbiotic. You won't be able to utilize all of the terms and the phrases.
Meanwhile, this guy's besties living in Japan for 14 years. He can't speak any fucking Japanese.
And the nuances of a language and convey that to a native speaker of said language if you don't understand the culture that the language comes from.
Right, and I think it goes the other way too. Language is a part of culture, and if you don't understand the language, then you can't understand a country's culture or even discuss shared values, which is essential for getting along with people. The values are embedded in the language. Like I said, it's not just about money. In my opinion, no amount of money is better than living around good people who I can communicate with and who share my values. You know, common sense values such as rape is bad, which is an idea that is not shared by lots of the people who are coming into America, and I don't want my country to become a PvP zone because 7-Eleven wants to pay their night shift workers less.
That's right.
The culture matters. And really, as for Evie, I think the lack of empathy for how others feel that comes with thinking that you can just go to someone else's country and instantly start telling them what to do is a sign of low intelligence. And speaking of low intelligence, what I get really tired of is all these online
Yeah, she's also retarded. Not only is she a virtue signaling retard, but she's also retarded. It's important to note that a lot of these people are just really dumb, and they think that if they just say the right things, the virtue signal point, I would like to live in a society where everyone could live wherever they want. Okay, retard.
Personalities trying to pretend that they're experts in cultures that they know little to nothing about.
One of the biggest lies that we have been telling in Western media is that Japan does not have feminism and that feminism just doesn't exist in Japan.
So Evie has captioned her short with, feminism
doesn't actually exist anywhere. Feminism is an incoherent mumble jumble of ideas where they think that they could overthrow a patriarchy, but ultimately force is dominated by males. So you ultimately need males to overthrow whatever patriarchy you're doing. So ultimately you're relying on a patriarchy. All right, you are inherently relying on a patriarchy, so you can never overthrow a patriarchy, which is a core tenet of feminism. Feminism is an inherently incoherent mumble jumble, and you know that these people are retarded and not willing to embrace reality because that they don't even recognize that.
Not a Western concept, implying that Japan created its own version of feminism, independent of countries like America, that dumb right-wing grifters just aren't aware of. But just wait for it. This is going to be great. I'm so glad that I get to talk about this because I had to cut it from the other video.
One of the most active and famous Japanese feminists was active during the 1920s. So this is not a new thing. Japan has not suddenly received like inspiration from the West to have feminism. I think it's really funny when people say that feminism doesn't exist in Japan because you are seeing it. You've definitely seen something that has its roots in feminism. What I wanted to say is that feminism does exist in Japan. It's always existed. You guys really, if you don't think that, please just do some research, read a book.
Very Japanese of you to brag about how smart you are and how you read so much. I can see you're really absorbing the culture.
I'm talking about stuff. I've researched this, and it's all Japanese literature that I've looked at whenever I talk about these things.
Me when I lie. But I like how her argument for, yeah, Japan has been feminist all along, it totally wasn't influenced by the West, is to give a single example and say, trust me, you've definitely seen something that has its roots in feminism. Of course, she's not going to provide any examples, but just believe her. And if you don't believe her, she implies that you're stupid by telling you to do her research for her. Did they teach you to do that in college? Here's the fun part. Evie posts a Wikipedia article about a woman named Miss Ichikawa. This is about a 2-minute read. I know that's a lot for some people, but during the article, it says that Miss Ichikawa went to the US to talk to a women's suffrage leader. The great part is that Evie actually screen caps this moment from the Wikipedia page as she's talking about how Japanese feminism was definitely not influenced by the West. I mean, this looks a lot like a direct lie from her. She cuts right under the part that talks about Western influence. I mean, even the LGBT stuff in Japan has likely been heavily influenced by Western liberals, considering that tons of the...
Of course it has. Of course it has. It's white libtards that fucking feel the need to spread this shit everywhere. It's unreal. It's so sad. It's white Christians, white Jews. That's where it comes from. It comes from a culture that has reached some sort of enlightenment, and it's so fucking good of a society, such a beautiful, prosperous culture that these people need to invent things to be oppressed about, and fight for. They need to invent issues to fight for. White and Jewish libtards that are fucking rich as shit, that came from a nepotistic household, they need to fight for the rights of degenerates.
Language that's used to talk about it is done with borrowed words from English.
A lot of LGBTQ plus terms are like English, basically. Lesbian.
Yeah, because Japan didn't have that thing. Because actually, two males having sex with each other was considered gross literally everywhere on the planet forever.
In Japanese. Very original.
Not that Evie would know any of this because her Japanese level is very low. Anyway, Evie's video on Mac cosplaying as Freeran is about America and Japan, two cultures that she didn't grow up in, yet she has the audacity to tell us all what to do and be a know-it-all, while making numerous mistakes like saying the President of America can write laws, which really is just arrogance, and probably why she had trouble making friends in school. Not saying that it wasn't bad that she was bullied, but looking at this as an adult, I think the reason why she had to put up with a toxic friendship is because she does a lot of things that make her unlikable to people who aren't toxic. Cutting context to lie to her audience being one of those things. Many people can't attract good friends because they are toxic themselves. But keep in mind that the especially offensive part of all of this is that she frequently says that most of her audience is American.
My audience is majority in America, so I post around 3 to 4 a.m. every day. For me, that doesn't really bother me because this is my dream. This is what I want to do. This is like so important to me.
So her audience is primarily American, and she very openly is trying to influence our politics as a foreigner who doesn't live here and therefore doesn't have to deal with these societal consequences of the policies or the straight up disinformation that she promotes.
Feminism has always been around in Japan, and I think it's not a Western concept.
Speaking of doing things that make you unlikable and the whole Freerun cosplay drama, Evie goes on to essentially call Mac and right-wing anime watchers a bunch of murderers because a cosplayer named Ashley Paxton, who also went by Squid Kid, chose to end her own life.
One of the worst cases of this is cosplayers being bullied for their skin color, people using horrible racist memes, which are absolutely not funny at all, because why do you think it's funny to bully someone who looks beautiful? One of the most heartbreaking examples of this is a cosplayer who unfortunately took their own life because of the bullying online, the majority of which was horrible racist rhetoric.
That's horrible. Man, I wish she had a dad at home that would tell her to turn off the internet. I'm not minimizing bullying that happens online. It happens a lot, and sometimes it's really brutal and horrible and stuff like that, for sure. That doesn't make right-wing people murderers.
Used to try and make fun of them and their cosplays. And that really shows the severity of this problem, and it shows you that this is an issue that actually is life-threatening, because it's not just a case of annoying right-wing grifters who, we see on Twitter and we're like, I'll just block them and move on. It is also the case that this is actually harming young black people.
Oh, that's right. Did you post an edgy meme? You killed this black girl. Yeah, are you fucking retarded? It's unreal watching these people jump through mental hula hoops to make you the bad guy, because objectively, the right-wing people are objectively not the bad guys. Like, on scale. Are we insane?
Not really sure why this was included in the video, because as far as Evie has shown, Mac is
it's
not
because she wants to basically say the right-wing people are all murderers.
Part of this event, so it seems irrelevant. However, because the topic is about Mac and her ice cosplay and saying that she's pro-whites, I'm guessing that Evie includes this story to say that Max somehow contributed to Squid Kid, a black girl, ending her own life. Now, before I say anything else, I will say this, which is that everybody gets bullied and receives hate comments on the internet. If someone chooses to take their own life because they can't handle mean comments online, then that mental health struggle almost certainly originated way before people said they didn't like her cosplays.
True.
Now, doing research on this, there really is no specific information on how Ashley Paxton died or why. The family has chosen to keep everything private, including the cause of death. Personally, I think this is a smart decision, though context clues would indicate that Ashley's death was mental health related. However, considering that we don't have any information from the family on the possible reasons for her death, I think it's extremely unfair.
So they saw a black cosplayer girl kill herself, and they immediately jumped to the conclusion that it must have been because of racism online? Are you fucking insane? They just developed that entire narrative out of nothing?
Say that your political enemies are responsible for this. Evie does post a quote from this article here, but they didn't provide any evidence that bullying on the internet is why Ashley chose to end her life. As far as I can tell, this is just a rumor that was spread by this Instagram account that has no proof to back it up. In fact, 2 days after this was posted, the family wrote a message on Ashley's Instagram account asking people to not honor her with assumptions, finger-pointing, inaccuracies, or accusations, which to me looks a lot like a direct response to the clear race baiting that came from this anime account. And I imagine that they're saying that because the reality is that Ashley had a lot going on in her life. The funeral service is still live, so I watched it, and while it was heartwarming that so many people showed up for her, it was still very sad. This was not a fun thing to research, and I'm sorry that the family had to go through losing her. But during the service, her father states that Ashley's mother died from chronic illness when she was only in middle school. So with that said, having a parent die when you're young is incredibly traumatic, and we don't know how Ashley chose to handle that. She may have still been dealing with that loss daily, close to a decade later. And I'm bringing this up because treating mental health...
Also, can we not forget the fact that among liberal women, depression rates are actually skyrocketed? Like, if you want to actually point out what causes depression, we know exactly what it is, and it's leftist policy.
Issues requires you.
Women are more depressed now than they ever been in the history of the world. All right, and they have so many freedoms and rights. They have so much feminisms.
Look at the root causes instead of some superficial bullshit that's convenient for your political arguments. Also, what certainly seems to be the case is that Ashley's family did not want her death to be used as a political tool to spread divisiveness, much like Evie is doing in her video. So, Evie, if you're wondering which social landmines you're stepping on that cause people to not like you, this would be one of them.
I love how this entire video of Think Before You Sleep is like every... Oh, by the way, this is why you are completely unlikable and a bitch. Just pointing that out for you. For your based.
My research.
Yeah, I find that hard to believe. I find it much easier to believe that you're radicalizing people into false beliefs by doing crap research and not considering more than one side to the story. I mean, did you even check Ashley's Instagram or try to look for comments from people who knew her personally? Or did you just spend 60 seconds reading a single article and thought that was sufficient enough to essentially call conservatives a bunch of murderers while implying that Mac was a contributor to it by including this news story after you spent 16 minutes calling her the most horrendous online racist that you've ever seen?
I came across the account of one of the most shocking racist women that I have ever seen on the internet.
Personally, I found this whole part of the video to be quite disgusting, and I think that Evie is a really bad person for doing that. Also, Evie, your whole video is about you not liking someone's cosplay and being quite discriminatory towards white people in the process. I hope that Mac doesn't get bullied and stays healthy, or you might find yourself in a moral dilemma here. Anyway, after the murder accusations, Evie says this.
You know, I'm descended from Holocaust survivors, so I don't think that there's anything wrong with my ancestors, but I don't know about...
No! Every time, every single time. It's every single time. Every single fucking... Well, are we serious, bro?
You, it depends.
Just a little...
Hi, I'm a descendant of Holocaust survivors. Everyone should be able to immigrate everywhere. Not beating the stereotypes. Just miserable.
Advice, Evie, you probably shouldn't be telling a bunch of people on Twitter that you're in favor of mass immigration and your family is full of Holocaust survivors. They might start saying things.
Yeah,
though, in an extreme bit of irony, Evie ends her video about Mac's cosplay by saying this.
Cosplay is for everyone. And I wanted to end this video on a positive note with sharing that Kenzie has in fact been banned from a lot of the local conventions in her area. An Instagram user by the name of Cordial Harlequin.
Oh, great news. Someone has opinions I don't like, therefore we're going to excommunicate her from life. But anyway, yeah, if you support child sex slavery from Pakistan, you should totally be able to move to become my neighbor. That's right. That's how this works. You have an opinion I don't like, you have to be banned from public life. You literally support child sex slavery, you should be able to move to wherever you want. The leftist ideology in a nutshell, ladies and gentlemen.
About how Kenzie was local to her region in St. Louis. But when they found Twitter photos of her wearing a MAGA hat, they banned her immediately and she stopped showing up to the local cons.
So there are two...
Oh, she voted for the popular candidate in an election in a country? Well, I guess she needs to be banned from public life now. But if you're a pedophile, rapist, sex slaver with 3 wives and 6 sex slave concubines, well, then you should be able to move to become my neighbor in Birmingham, London.
Two parts of this. First is the extreme irony of her saying, I think people should be allowed to go wherever they want. Wait, not people who disagree with me. This goes back to the whole, I can't have anyone who has different beliefs in my hobby. These people have ruined many different hobbies by inserting their stupid politics into apolitical spaces.
I don't know a great deal about the politics of the cosplay world, to be honest with you.
It's kind of how, unfortunately, a lot of culture-dominated things go. If you're right
of Karl Marx, you're viewed as a crazy person.
The Super Smash Brothers community is another example of that. It's full of radicals who turn everything into politics and people who you shouldn't let around children. The second part of this is that I thought it was kind of suspicious that Evie emphasizes the specific city that Mac lives in when she could have easily made her point without mentioning that. Personally, I don't ever
Yeah, that is crazy, by the way. I didn't even think of that, but yeah, that's insane. If that's not public information, then that's basically telling my audience, oh, hey, remember what happened to Charlie Kirk? Can we do this to this racist white woman?
Specific information about where people live, unless they've said it publicly or I have their permission. And by that, I'm implying that this kind of looks like a sneaky attempt to encourage doxing. So I sent Mac an email on this, and she informed me that the thread that Evie showed was made during a time where many people were trying to dox her over a viral tweet that was honestly not that offensive. Also, saying this post is offensive is an incredibly ironic argument to make, considering how many wokies shout cultural appropriation every time a white woman puts on a kimono or wears dreadlocks. Like, I would expect to see something more openly racist, especially considering that just like Evie, this person also appears to be saying that Mac caused Ashley Paxton to end her life, followed by, ironically, saying that the solution to this problem is bullying. Allow me to remind everyone that before this post was made, Ashley's family wrote this message asking people to have mature conversations regarding this subject, and also said it would be her wish for people to respond to her loss with listening, forgiveness, compassion, and patience. So here's my argument. Evie starts her video by saying Mac is one of the most racist accounts that she's ever seen. She then talks about a girl ending her life because of racist Twitter users, and then shows this thread stating where Mac lives that is very openly calling for people to attack those that they have deemed racist.
What it looks
now,
like.
In this context, one might interpret the term bully very generously. However, that term was used directly after someone essentially is accusing Mac of being a murderer. Also, considering the whole punch a Nazi, by the way, everyone we disagree with is a Nazi narrative, along with all the political violence that comes from radical leftists, what do they mean by bully? So Evie, why are you trying to encourage people to investigate where Mac lives by signal boosting this thread that gives—
Yeah, right-wing... It's both sides, guys. It's both sides. See, on the right, they'll like make a racist comment, and on the left, they will kill you. It's both sides.
Gives up personal information and says attacking her would be virtuous.
At the end of the day, if you're going to be openly racist in public, I don't think that you should be allowed in spaces that are supposed to be safe and well.
Wait. Hold on. If you're racist, you shouldn't be allowed in public places? Are we serious? You do realize that, for example, you're from England, right? So Islam is a supremacist religion that believes that all non-Muslims are infidels that should be treated like animals, right? You do realize that? Yet you want them to be able to move into your neighborhood en masse, okay? All right? But if you're racist, though, and my subjective understanding of racism...
Well, you're always welcome on 4chan if you feel lonely.
Okay, this is perfect. I think Evie gets it. You see, I have this very big safe space called the United States of America, and in my safe space, I don't want millions of people with vastly different values to be allowed in, especially if they refuse to assimilate, and especially if they're hostile. I mean, do you know how many of these foreigners who are coming into America are very openly racist? It's like a ton of them. So I'm glad Evie and I are on the same page here. I told you that being in favor of border security is a bipartisan issue. Now, Mac did make her own response to Evie's video that she uploaded to YouTube and Twitter. It runs about 45 minutes, and I think the best part of it was this part here.
It's like, can you not do anything else with your life? I don't know.
Do something with your life is especially amusing, as you know if you've been following me, that I'm a wife and mother of multiple beautiful children, which is precisely why I'm worried about the state of my nation and their safety. I would definitely consider that doing something with my life.
That's
way more than posting silly cosplays online.
Yeah, I thought it was really funny for Mac to call Evie
No, that's the old slam dunk. It's over. It's like actually over. She killed her. She fucking killed her on the timeline.
Childless loser who doesn't care about the negatives of mass immigration because she's not responsible for anyone's safety.
Like, I did not want to be the mum. I did not want to have a baby. I did not want to be in that
role.
So
you're a loser, and you're going to be miserable for your whole life. You don't want to be a mom and have a baby? That's fine. You are going to be depressed and miserable your whole life now. And it's all your fault, actually, for making these decisions. Now, I know you could argue that she was groomed into believing this by cabal of shit retards. True, I actually believe that that's possible. But you ultimately have free will, and you have decided to make the choices that will make you miserable for your whole life. That's fine. You want to be a loser and end your bloodline? Thousands of years of your grandparents survived the Holocaust, so you could decide to end the bloodline, I guess. What do you even want me to say? You're a loser. You're a loser. Your life kind of fucking sucks.
She's talking about playing house as a kid here and using it to explain how she doesn't want children, which is why I say statements like this next one are just fake empathy to promote her politics.
Japan right now makes it really hard to want to have children, but also to have a career because mothers here are not treated the best. And I think that's one of the reasons why the population is not doing so well, really.
Gee, I'm so glad we have help with the Japanese birthing crisis from the anti-natalist, terminally offended lesbian who doesn't understand their culture and can't speak their language. What could possibly go wrong? Note that the other British foreign expat who also doesn't really speak Japanese and who thinks mass immigration is a good solution to the birthing crisis also does not want or have kids. I'm noticing a pattern. Oh my god, on Chris's Reddit, someone got downvoted into oblivion because people were offended that he politely asked if Chris was going to have kids. This is some doomer shit. Again, I'm noticing a pattern. Anyway, Mac goes on to point out that as a foreign guest in the country, all Evie does is complain about Japan.
The fact is, Evie herself has numerous short videos complaining about different aspects of Japanese culture from a feminist perspective. She's actually a great example herself of someone moving into a nation and then being angry it doesn't welcome her, even though she's trying to change it and thinks it should change.
And why would you want to welcome someone into your home who doesn't speak your language, is constantly saying you suck, and is trying to tell you what to do? I think Mac's statements about Evie are pretty accurate here. Evie essentially spent this entire video complaining about Japan and talking about how she's going to change the country, despite not even being fluent in the language. I mean, if she was, all of her activism wouldn't be in English, right?
Most foreigners here just, instead of coming here to challenge themselves, they're coming here to find an easier way of life and just kind of enjoy the fruits of Japan without actually putting in the work to also respect the culture at the same time. I know foreigners who live here. Most of the foreigners who live here are like, wow, Japan has great healthcare. Japan is so safe. But
there it is.
I don't like how Japan is politically. I don't like Japan's views on this and that.
Fuck you.
And I want to change.
Maybe the reason why it's safe is because of how it is politically. Maybe the reason why Japan is so safe is because they have strong border policy. Maybe. I'm just wondering out loud.
Change that.
And let me reemphasize here by saying that I am almost certain that she speaks very little Japanese. This sentence here is so awkward that even my crap knowledge of the language can instantly recognize that it was written by AI. The overuse of the word I is a beginner mistake that AI makes constantly because AI translators have no idea how to handle pronouns in Japanese. This mistake is made so frequently that I don't even think she can read basic kanji because she definitely would notice it and try to correct it if she did. Also note that this video is only 3 months old, so there's no way she's made any significant improvement since she released it. I mean, holy shit, I did not realize she was grifting this much when I put her in the video about trash taste. Does she even have any Japanese friends? Why would you live there if you hate it so much? I think the only positive thing she said about Japan is that she likes anime. I mean, that's like if I uprooted my entire life to move to America despite really hating it because I'm a big fan of Spider-Man or something.
She likes Freren.
This makes no sense.
I have met so many people. They have lived in Japan for like 3-4 years. They don't know how to speak Japanese. Yes, we Japanese try to speak a little bit of English, but we would prefer to communicate in Japanese.
And on a final note, Matt decides to dispel some misinformation about her that was spread by Evie.
I did not stop attending conventions because I was banned. I stopped attending conventions because I had multiple children, which are obviously my top priority.
God,
I have yet to receive official word that I've been banned from any convention.
Oh, you're going to conventions to buy plushies of Pokemon? I am creating life! Oh my god. Just fucking murdering this lady.
Though I do suspect I'm banned from at least one for sure. It's amusing that lefties are trying to take credit for me not attending conventions because they can't possibly imagine that I'm doing anything more important than dressing up as anime characters and going to conventions.
What an own. So apparently she was only banned from a single convention, maybe, and the reason she wasn't going to other ones is because she was busy creating a family instead of choosing her career over human connection. The great thing about this is that Evie is incredibly smug about flaunting her stupid college degree and uses that to say that essentially she is a better person than Mac, as if a piece of paper matters more than...
By the way, I think that is such brain rot that affects so many young women in America. The idea that you're only worth something if you have a piece of paper from a college that says you have a degree in lesbian butt sex.
Surrounding yourself with people who love and appreciate you.
Like, I have a bachelor's degree in philosophy.
Philosophy? What are you?
Bachelor's in philosophy? It's a fucking nothing burger degree. You're in student debt because you got a nothing degree.
Useless degree to pay for. You can read philosophy books on your own. They're on Audible for like $10 each. What jobs even require a certificate in that? That's like being smug about a degree in gender studies, which I'm almost certain is just a radicalization pipeline, with the singular goal of wasting 4 years of some young person's time and leaving them with a degree with no market value so that their only option is to become a smug political activist or some HR rep that everyone in the company hates. But on the topic of political radicalism, like I said, these ideas tend to appeal to people who aren't socially well adjusted, which is why this next thing makes sense.
Living with children, Hassan has a negative 49%, 0% favorability. But for the people that are living with their parents, he's at plus 30.
Yeah, I'm sure this shocks nobody.
Right.
The people who are into this stuff and have all these dumb luxury beliefs about how society should work can get away with believing stupid.
It's retards that have zero actual responsibility for fucking anything, LARPing as revolutionaries to change society into their ideal worldview, which is under scrutiny, absolute bullshit.
Because they're being shielded from the negative
It's fluffy, nice sounding things. But what about if everyone was able to get everything for free? Wow, wouldn't that be paradise? Now that would be hell.
Consequences of those beliefs by people who take care of them. Who would have thought that people whose parents pay for everything would be into the idea of getting free shit from the government? I mean, taxpayers. Well, the net taxpayers. This is yet again why I'm such a self-improvement addict, because I want people to pull themselves out of these situations so they can start living their lives instead of being destitute for like 10 years after they graduate high school and taking up role models who promote the worst values.
And I think there's things about each person that are admirable, but you shouldn't look at people.
I don't think there's actually anything admirable about some people.
To be role models. You should look at actions as things to model yourself after, rather than trying to completely copy an individual and then take everything that they do and make it yourself.
True.
So that's it.
He's right to say that because people are...
Every human being is different. I respect and like Asmongold a lot. I disagree with some of his takes, like he's pro-abortion and stuff. I am against it. All right, unless the mother's life is in danger. You know, so that said, I still respect him. I think he's a very pragmatic, logical, intelligent man.
Complicated and flawed, and nobody has the perfect life no matter how much they try to portray it that way. In fact, the more perfect people show themselves to be on social media, the more likely I think there's some secret that they're trying to hide. I also do think that Asmongold is right when he says that you should pay attention to the aspects of people that make them admirable. Not just because it will allow you to learn that behavior from them, but also because seeing the good in people will generally just make you a more positive and more likable person. I think if you pay attention, probably everybody has some sort of positive aspect or redeeming quality, despite their flaws. Wait, what the hell? As I was finishing this video, Evie uploaded a post criticizing Islamic countries for child marriage. Holy shit, I can't believe we found a wokie with a humanizing feature. It's been a while. But why are you in favor of mass immigration if you have this take? The whole point of border security is to keep things like child...
She's retarded. She thinks that somehow they'll just leave. She thinks that everyone actually is against child marriage. It's only the government. So therefore, you just take all the people that are married to children there, and you plop them here, and they'll be so much happier in paradise. No, actually, that's not the case. They will just rape you instead.
marriage and child trafficking out of the West. I definitely did not expect her to criticize Islam, but I still don't like her though. And to continue what Asmongold was saying, first of all, he's talking about Hassan Piker, of all people, saying that he's a role model.
Part of the reason why I think whenever...
How can you be a decent role model? You literally support terrorists, you pay for sex, and you just sit in your room all day advocating for terrorism.
Yeah.
Like, how's that being a decent role model?
True.
Right, but I think a part of the reason that people look past stuff like this and have overly idealistic views of social media influencers is because they just don't have a lot of life experience. So it comes as a shock when a favorite influencer of yours criticizes some other influencer that you don't like, only to later find out that he was kind of doing a lot of the same shit that he was criticizing.
Okay, I have no idea what the context of that one is, but okay.
That influencers are
Guess I'm gonna have to look into that one.
The most poorly socially adjusted people, because we are often rewarded for doing things that are socially inappropriate.
True.
Clavicular being a great example of someone who is constantly rewarded for antisocial behavior. Or even me, people get really pissed off when I talk over movies and TV shows in my personal life, but if you talk over people's content on YouTube, it'll get you over 1 million subscribers. The point is that being likable matters.
I am currently watching through One Piece with my wife, and I pause it, and I'm like, all right, let me explain the difference between how Akainu's form of justice is pure authoritarianism and Blackbeard is a pure anarchist. Luffy is somewhere in between. My wife is like, can I just see them fucking kill each other? Anyway.
Not being liked by other people will have a severely negative impact on your life, especially if it makes you so desperate that you'll accept anyone who's willing to be around you. And what I find personally for people who have trouble being liked by others is that it's not about what they should do, it's more about what they should stop doing. And really, those tend to be the more challenging things to fix. As difficult as it is, it's much easier to say I should go to the gym 3 times a week than it is to say, hey, if I want to lose weight, maybe I should stop eating so much damn food. You know exercising is the easier thing to do because all the fat acceptance flunkies constantly virtue signal about taking a yoga class, but never about how they stopped eating candy 5 times a day. Last, I also think people see this philosophically as something like it takes 10 positive behaviors to outweigh a negative behavior. Bad behavior really stands out to people, so I think it's much better to start by spending more focus on learning how to limit negative things that you do as you search for positive things to implement. Anyway, thanks for watching. Follow me on Twitter.
Dude, I love his videos. He's so, like, wholesome and upbeat at the end. I really respect it. I think you need to be the change that you want to see in the world. Get married, have children, build a family, follow biblical values that created the greatest civilization known to man. Take care of yourself. Take care of your family, your neighbors, and your country. Fix yourself, and you will see the world around you fit into place. Also, Freerin is a fucking awesome anime. Ultimately, a story about the little things, the little adventures, the little interactions that you have with your friends that really matter so much. That could snowball into something incredible. None of this zero, empty, virtue signaling, vapid, retarded nonsense.